Welcome to the Super Magic Show. I hope you're having a really great Monday. It's March 30th, and we have a great show planned for all of you. Again, I hope you're doing well, you and your families, as 2026 is trucking by. I have done streams for the past month, maybe, month and a half, and we've been discussing the Dragon Ball Super Remake. In case you've been living under a rock, there is a Dragon Ball Super Remake. Yes, it is strange that they're remaking Dragon Ball Super, considering it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago when it started. But Dragon Ball Super had a lot of problems. And I have done discussions here on the Super Magic Show. The first one was with Medios, and we talked about Battle of Gods. The second one was Son TJ. We talked about Resurrection F and how they can improve it this go around. The third one was the Universe 6, Universe 7 tournament with Jake Plays last week, and now, well, 2 weeks ago. And now we've gotten to the Future Trunks arc. This is where a lot of people said that Dragon Ball Super actually got good, because it got dark, it brought back a fan favorite character, we got an evil Goku. Listen, I was the motherfucker who said in 2015, guys, there is no evil Goku, Broly's not coming back, Trunks is not coming back, stop thinking that. And boy, was I wrong. And I learned from it. I learned that when it comes to Dragon Ball, you just can't predict what's going to happen. I would have never thought that Broly would get rewritten. I would have never thought that the superhero movie would have Cell Max. I would have never thought that Daima. Who the hell would have thought that they would do a Dragon Ball Daima 20 episode miniseries that borrowed elements from GT? I don't know anybody who predicted that one for the rerun of Dragon Ball for the Renaissance. Anyways, today we're talking about the Future Trunks arc and how to improve it. And joining me, I might have him teach me how to say this, right? But I want to welcome back Star Blast Studios, aka Heesh. All right, so it's Assalamu Alaikum, right? It's exactly.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes.
I did it right.
Close enough. You know, you did like I'd say I give you an 85%.
Okay, that's like a B, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll learn it. I'll learn it eventually.
What's going on, guys? How is everyone doing in the chat today? First off, I just wanted to ask the chat, if you were to name this specific arc, since they have like this running theme with all of these remakes, seemingly ever since Dragon Ball Super Beerus, what would you name it? And I picked up the 3 different names that I think is most likely to be. It would be Dragon Ball Super Trunks, like you have in the thumbnail.
Wait. Time out. I don't want to stop you, but I want to make this into a poll, if you don't mind. So
okay, no problem.
Let me do that now. Make sure y'all press like. I want to do that now. So that'll be the first poll we put up. All right, what do you think is the best name, right, for this arc remake? Okay, so you said DBS Trunks. Hold on, I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro.
Everyone's already picking the one that I'm actually mostly leaning towards.
DBS Black.
Dragon Ball Super Black.
Just Black.
Dragon Ball Super Zamasu and Dragon Ball Super Trunks. Those are the 3 ones that I think is most likely. I think Trunks, to be honest, I think is the most likely, but I think Dragon Ball Super Black is the best one. Also, your camera's frozen. I don't know what happened.
No, I know why, because I'm on the other window. That's because I'm doing the poll. Okay, so I want to make sure we have this right. Trunks, Black, and Zamasu, right? That's it? Those 3?
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
All right, the poll is up. I don't think it'll be called Zamasu, because that would give away that Zamasu and Black are the same person, which everybody knows. But if this is going to be the definitive Dragon Ball Super from now on, like if they want us to ignore the 2015 series for new fans and get started here, they probably won't call it that. But I do like Dragon Ball Super Black. Like that just sounds cool, especially if the logo is black. If they do something like that.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'd love that.
So you came to me like a month ago and you requested to be on for this arc. And I want to ask you why. Like, what is it about this arc that I guess, inspired you or intrigued you to want to talk about how to improve the anime version?
So a while back, I was very much inspired by this arc. I remember when Dragon Ball Super was airing, and we were actually at the part where the Tournament of Power was doing, and I was like, I was at that time where I was in like totally into doing stop motions on my YouTube channel, right? And one of the things that I wanted to do, and this was like just like a 10-minute stop motion on there, was I was basically doing what was essentially a fan version that I had of the Goku Black arc. Now, I couldn't do everything that I wanted in there. As a matter of fact, in that story, I actually like didn't even in that stop motion that I did, I didn't even have Goku in it. I mostly wanted to have it be focused on
Trunks?
Vegeta and Trunks throughout that entire thing. And honestly, this was when I was actually writing that story, I realized there's a lot of elements from both the manga and the anime. So I was basically sort of making like my own homage of the Goku Black arc when going and making that story. And it was kind of taking the elements from both the manga and the anime, combining it, putting it into both. Which, if you guys want to go ahead and go and check it out, it's on my channel right now. Go to Starblast Studios and type in watch Dragon Ball Evolved. That's the little animation I did a while back. So you can see a little bit of where my mindset was at during that time.
Do you want me to put it on during the stream and we watch it?
Oh man, no.
We could do that. We could watch it here with everyone. That's up to you. I mean,
I'm honestly gonna be. Some of it is a little bit cringe, to be honest with you. Just a little bit. Some like
you were a kid, right?
Dated. I was younger, but I want to say I was a kid. I'm not even voicing in it, but a lot of the other stuff is in there. Like, okay, we can watch it at some point, maybe later in the stream. I'd be totally down for it. But ever since then, I was like, I've wanted to make a sequel to that, and I've always or maybe a remake of that story. And that's why I've when I realized that Dragon Ball Super was gonna actually remake the Goku Black arc and essentially do the ideas that I had, like combining both anime and the manga, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do this. Danny's looking for people, bro. I need to be on this stream so I can talk about the idea, so I can geek out about this Goku Black arc, because this has just been living in my mind for the longest time, and I don't know. I've just always had these ideas and haven't been able to figure out how to execute them properly. But yeah. That's exactly where my mindset's at.
And the sad part is that your ideas are probably better than what they have planned for real. Because here's the thing, man. Look. They're going to enhance Dragon Ball Super. They're going to make it look better and sound better, and the pacing will be better. But the problem with the Goku Black arc, both in anime and manga formats, is the ending of the arc. I do not like this ending, and it's not because it's quote-unquote a sad ending. There's tons of movies I watch that have sad endings that I love. That's not it. It's the fact that the whole arc, the ending of this story arc betrays it betrays like the entire narrative of the arc. Like, I don't know what Toriyama was thinking. I have a lot of respect for the man, obviously, but this is the one arc where I thought the ending was lame, and I did not like it. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to do a whole video about this. The entire arc is the philosophy of Zamasu is that mortals should not be competing or not be interacting with gods. Mortals and gods should not be friends interacting, right? And the whole story was building up to Goku showing Zamasu that mortals can be strong, mortals can be special, and mortals can be cool with gods. So what does Goku do? Pushes the Zeno button to nuke everything. So at the end of the day, guess what? Zamasu was right. You ain't shit without the gods. And that, to me, I think it betrayed what it was trying to do. And, I'll tell you what. I am rereading the manga version with Jordan on the Mangalorean. This week, I think on Wednesday, we're going to stream Volume 3. I think it's Volume 3 or Volume 4. But we're going to get there, and maybe 4. And then maybe I'll feel better about it, but the ending sucks in both versions. But here's the thing. There are things I like about the manga and things I like about the anime version. So it's very It's a very tricky situation, bro, because I don't think that if people are expecting it to just be the manga just animated, I don't think they're going to do that. I think well, I know some of the things from the manga are going to be in the anime, but not everything.
The thing is that if they actually were to adapt the manga, it would have a shorter episode span naturally already from the get-go than it is in the anime. Just the adapting the story by itself. And the reason why is because in the anime they went back and forth to the future total of 3 times, right? So they went first time they go to the future, that was when Goku Black, first revealed Rose. Then they went to the Super a second time in the anime because they thought Goku Black might have been killed. They needed to confirm that, and that's when Trunks unlocked Rage right after.
Yeah.
And then with the third time, which was after Vegeta had trained and Goku learned the Mafuba that never worked. But in the anime, but in the manga, they only went there twice. So naturally, you're gonna have a much shorter episode span, and things would happen differently already. Actually, it's funny because there is one thing in particular, though, that I think that they can make into a potential TV special or just its own standalone episode, which would be done without remaking any. You would have to make this entirely from scratch. You're not going to be making anything from the Goku Black arc before with anything like this. But I want to see a TV special or singular episode of Trunks in the past when he was defeating Deborah, Babidi, and
yes.
You and Jordan talked a little bit about that, and I think that would be a great thing.
I want that. That's the one thing that I want. I want the full, you're right. They can do it in one episode. The full Trunks versus Deborah and Babidi. Wrap that up in one episode. I would love that. Now, there are some things that I want to ask you about regarding certain story elements from the manga and the anime. Somebody in the chat actually said that I was being picky, and it's like that's the point of this stream is we're picking what we like and how we think it's going to go. And Heesh and I might not agree, but that's part of the fun, and also you guys can be a part of it too. Let me grab this super chat here from Austo La Vista. I just realized what your name is. With updated art and animation, that cut of Goku and Trunks versus Black and Zamasu will become legendary. I hope they don't change it much. Well, that cut was Sheeta, and that's already legendary. So they can just put it in there, and it'll be fine the way it is. Hayden Beer, one thing I want is Vegeta going Super Saiyan God. Okay, we're going to get to that. But I got to ask you, bro. Well, first of all, you have a list of things you want changed. Do you want to go through the list, or do you want me to throw some things at you first and get your specific story elements and get your thoughts on them? Because I got one.
Yeah, let me actually just specify. I didn't make a list of things that I want changed. What I made was a list of the things that's going to be most likely implemented into this remake. As far as I know. So one of the things, yes, like I do think that we're gonna have the amount of trips to the future cut down to twice, because then it actually, I think, helps the arc condense the story more, and it makes the story a little bit less repetitive. I think that would be very helpful into doing that. Plus, it would also help shorten the episode span, which is kind of the goal of the of this arc, or the remake of the story so far.
Right. I agree.
That's one thing that I did. And actually, one other thing. When we were talking about the TV special, potentially, one thing that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, they actually had implemented a little bit more content into that area with its DLC, doing a little bit more with having Trunks fighting Yakan and Pui Pui at the very beginning, going down farther into Babidi's ship.
The ship, yeah.
Yeah, so implementing stuff like that into there too, I think would also help accelerate the story. You can genuinely, if you really wanted to, right? I think it should be like a 40 to 50 minute episode special, just like how the History of Trunks special was, same exact length, right out there. Make it with its fancy animation. In fact, if you wanted to, you can even change the animation to make it more just like Z, just for that era, just because it's still within that era of animation. Make it a little bit more creative. You don't just have to stick to the Yamamuro style. I mean, maybe you can, but make it more like Z than it does Super.
Well, remember the old Yamamuro style, he took over for the Majin Buu saga when Minoru Maeda left Dragon Ball Z. So if you were to do a Buu Saga of the Future Trunks timeline, Yamamoto's art would probably fit, but it would have to be 90s Yamamoto, not the guy they have now who a lot of people don't like.
But to be
So,
honest with you, the biggest issue isn't even necessarily Yamamoro. It's the guy who has been compositing the episodes, like the colors and whatnot. Because yeah, we have the character design sheets, but if they're what I've seen on Twitter, right, is that if you just simply composite the colors, the art looks way better. In fact, Daima was a very good example of this because you can have Yamamoro-esque styles in with Dragon Ball Daima, but when you composite, it makes the colors look like they actually make the colors look proper. Then you actually have a nicer looking product. I don't think all of the issue was Yamamoro when it came to Super. They're only bringing him back because of the fact that this is a somewhat remake and slash remaster of the entire thing. That's literally the only reason Yamamoro is back as a director again. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be having him again.
You might be right. He did do a little bit of Daima. He did a little bit of it. But yeah, they moved him to Heroes, and I kind of felt like that was the right thing to do. So let me ask you this. First of all, we agree about the Buu Saga, or the fight with Trunks. It was a very, very short clip in the anime, but the manga got several pages, and I agree with you. I would love to see Trunks unlock Super Saiyan 2 with the Z sword. He gets a new sword, but it's the magical Z sword. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Hey, sword fights Dabura, dude, that would be fucking awesome. All right, so that's one thing. Now, I gotta ask you about, this is a controversial one, all right? Zamasu in the anime meets Goku, and when he meets Goku, because they go to Universe 10 because they sort of figure out that Universe 10 is where all this shit was coming from, and then Zamasu meets Goku, which would lead to him becoming Goku Black, which would lead to him going back in time and dealing with Goku, which would lead to Goku meeting Zamasu. So they made a time loop in the anime. But in the manga, Zamasu only heard of Goku and then watched him on GodTube fighting Hit. Two different ways that they sort of showed us how Zamasu grew this hatred for Goku. Two different ways of doing it. So which one do you think should make the most sense to do, like, as the definitive one for the DBS remake?
Well, they did subtle changes, you know, to for example, the God ritual, right? We saw in the trailer for when they were doing like the positioning of everyone's hands, because you know how Vidal's hands were like out more like in the center instead of holding on to everyone and like doing a circle. So I actually I'm not 100% where they have to do one or the other. In fact, I'm okay if I recall correctly, the manga actually introduced a weird thing where, in order to build up tension, where they had to go back to the future as soon as possible, they made it seem like, you know, the timeline was going to get erased or whatever, or they weren't be able to go back to that timeline.
That Black was going to screw it all up, right?
Or something to do with it, like, you know, they can't go back. They have to go back to like that specific point in time, otherwise they're going to cause an anomaly or something, right? I can't remember exactly, but the whole thing was that the manga, I recall, actually added in an error to the continuity, because what was it? The reason why Bulma, what happened to your camera?
No, I'm just letting you. I'm putting you on center stage, bro.
Oh, okay, so
I'm right here, but I'm just saying.
Okay, so in the manga, right? Bulma was basically saying that if we don't head back to the future right away, they're not going to be able to head back to that exact point in time. The issue with that,
the fuel, right? Wasn't it the fuel?
No, it wasn't to do with the fuel. It was to do with the something to do, some technical thing that makes it to where they had to go back to the future right away. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to head back to that exact point ever again.
Right.
Something like that. It was they did this after the very first trip. So the manga has its own issues already with time travel that I think, you know, added in some issues to the continuity. The anime also, I think, like with the time loop, it made it seem needlessly complicated. I get it, what happened, but I mean, it is actually simpler in general than the whole explanation for Cell in Z. But I think they can possibly just maybe take the manga version, but add in a couple of extra tweaks to it, because then it makes it much simpler and easier to understand.
So you're okay with it being Zamasu heard of Goku and sees him on GodTube? That's what you're saying. You're
I mean, that was
towards?
basically GodTube is on both the anime and the manga anyway. So
Right,
it's not
but
like they're gonna be
Zamasu
changing.
met Goku in the anime. In the manga, he didn't until later. You know what I'm saying? If you remember in the anime, Goku had a little scuffle with him because they went to Universe 10. In the manga, though, he never actually met Goku until he was already black and that whole thing went down.
And you know what? That's okay. As to whether or not Zamasu meets Goku or not before then, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe maybe the anime. I guess for that, I think the anime makes just a little bit more sense because the
It makes
actual
him
lasting
angrier.
impression- Yeah, it makes him angry. Goku leaves an actual lasting imprint, and we see the Goku effect go on to Zamasu in a specific way, right? Like I can understand watching him on God too, but then I think it makes more sense if it was just him like seeing him in person because then he actually like I think from the simple fight he had with Goku, he already has a general understanding of how his body works, right?
Well, that's true, and he is a martial arts prodigy, is what they said.
Yeah.
Brother, I'm not going to roast you, but this idea is terrible and makes no sense. What does Tarble have to do with Goku? Why would Zamasu ever meet Tarble? Like, y'all, look, man, I've said it before. When y'all come up with a theory, actually put some thought into it before you start saying, hey, I have an idea. That's what we're doing here on this stream. The ideas that we're going to have, we're going to hopefully, at least I am, going to think about them. So, like the shirt says, bro, stop. Anyways, okay, so I got where you're coming from. Makes sense. So, I like the time loop. I actually like the time loop, and I like that when Beerus Hakai'd Zamasu, that broke the time loop. Now, my question to you is, the Universe 12 time traveler was only mentioned in the manga once, never in the anime. And that's a story thread that to this day we still have not gotten a follow up on. For those who don't know or don't remember, and we talked about it on Mongolian last time me and Jordan did it, Gowasu mentions there was a Universe 12 time traveler, and they explain because there's 5 time rings, that 4 of them are the 4 timelines that were established in the Cell Saga, which are in the guidebooks. It's 4 timelines. Don't ever think anybody tells you otherwise. But then the 5th one is from this Universe 12 time traveler. In the anime version, though, the 5th timeline came from this whole black thing. So, what do you think? Do you think that we should see or not see, but hear about the Universe 12 time traveler? Does it even matter anymore?
Okay, whether they decide to keep it or not, I don't think it has anything to do with the basic story at hand. In fact, I think the main reason in the anime was why they even why they even talked about the existence of the time traveler from Universe 12 was because they needed to have a reason to justify the reason for why they have the rules against time traveling in the first place. Like he was the first one. That the purpose of that specific instance was to display that time traveler was that mortals had that capacity to be able to doing that, and so that's why the rules are in place, against time travel in the first place. That's why Whis is always saying, "Oh, time traveling is a serious crime after all," But I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's if they decide to remove it, I don't think it's necessary. I see it totally being a plot line that they can implement, but knowing how that the anime seems to be going, I don't think that they're gonna prioritize it, considering that it was just like something.
It was like a throwaway line. It was a throwaway line. I'm with you. But remember when that line happened, we were all like, "Wait, are they gonna make this into a story?" Like,
no, because they're not. I mean, we were still waiting for the story of Goku. I mean, Vegeta going to planet.
No, Sadala. No, I don't want. Oh God, kill me. All right, brother, Anonymous. He was I do like your name, but your comment is dumb. Tarble was in a special of the OVA that Toriyama wrote. He was mentioned in Battle of Gods, the movie that Toriyama wrote, and he was shown in Dragon Ball Super Broly that Toriyama wrote.
Was he mentioned in the manga?
Bro. Huh?
Was he mentioned in the manga?
I don't remember. No, yes, he was. And he was shown in the manga. Actually. some of you guys, bro, like I genuinely wonder where you get your information from. Look, I'm just gonna say it like this, dog, and it's gonna sound egotistical, but fuck it. If I don't say it, bro, it's not true. All right. If I don't say it, it ain't true. All right. I don't know where you're hearing this shit from, or oh, Tarble's not can. I don't know who the fuck misguided you, my friend, but come back to reality, brother. We'll bring you back. We'll bring you back. Okay, so Universe 12 Time Traveler doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, in your opinion. Now, what do you think about, and this one's a little controversial because this reminds me, well, first of all, Super Saiyan, Vegeta's use of Super Saiyan God, how in the manga version of the anime of the story arc, Vegeta was switching between God and Blue to take advantage of whatever.
Let it happen. Let it freaking happen. I'm saying you absolutely do it. Here's why that scene is more impactful in the manga. It's Vegeta also mimicking Goku. He did that because he got the idea of from how he defeated Hit in the manga.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're going to introduce Vegeta utilizing Super Saiyan God in this story, then most likely you're gonna also that also means that you're gonna have the Universe 6 and 7 version have the effect of the manga. Maybe in the manga you'd have both Kaioken and Super Saiyan God. That's a discussion you've already had with someone else.
You can still talk about it if you want. I wouldn't stop.
Yeah, but the whole thing of Vegeta going and doing that, like, this is also a genuinely good visual display of his power. The fact that he's able to fight Goku Black for a little bit in Super Saiyan God, even though he is switching to Blue, it's to show just how much stronger the effect of him training in the time chamber had on him. So it also influenced Goku as well to sort of like do what Vegeta did in order to help mitigate this, because the depth that Super Saiyan Blue has in the manga overall, I think it brings me back to like the whole Cell Saga instance where they're trying to figure out the different grades and different ways to use the Super Saiyan forms in an intricate manner, in the most effective manner. So absolutely, yeah, definitely have that. I would not like to disagree with that, but I'm actually going to tell you something that I think is also just as important, if not way more important, to have in this arc.
All right, well, we're going to get to all of it, but go ahead.
No, but we need to have Dragon Ball Super Mario Kart.
Oh, the Mario Kart. Yes.
Give me Trunks versus Beerus doing Mario Kart in there, because that was absolutely beautiful. That's one of the best things in the manga. I need that.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. We need it. All right, brother. He says only the original manga's canon. OVA movies are not canon.
We need that video at this point on canon.
No. I'm gonna get full screen for a minute. Let me talk to you, brother. Come close. Not you, Heesh. Him. Come close. Come close to me now. If you feel that only the original manga is canon, we're talking about Super right now. We're not talking about the original manga. We're talking about Super. SUPER. So if the original 42 is all you think is canon, then why are you bringing up Tarble when we're talking about Super, what that's not in the original 42? Logic. Come on now. You got to think a little bit. I don't mean to roast, but, I'm not going to, like, go off on this guy or anything. I'm just, like, I'm just letting him know that, like, also, P.S., there is no canon, but that's not what this topic's about. So, Mario Kart needs to be in. I agree with you. I got a controversial one for you, bro.
Okay.
This is one that's tricky. In the anime, we saw Trunks unlock this mysterious form, Super Saiyan Ikari. We only saw him do it in the anime. It's nowhere to be found in the manga. And it's controversial because it's never really been fully explained. I have a transformation guide on it, but even in my guide, there's a lot of missing information. So the options are, do you cut it completely? Do you keep it? Because it was a great moment for Trunks. Or do you keep it and then do a bit more explaining on what that form actually is?
It wasn't in the manga. I'm okay if they want to I'm okay with either they decide to keep it and expound on it more, or they just decide to cut it completely. It's either because on one hand, right, this I sort of tackled a little bit. In the manga, Trunks has his healing powers that he got from being what's it called, a Supreme Kai's apprentice
Yeah.
from the Supreme
So
Kai.
maybe he learned a little something from the Z sword. Training.
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. Because the Z sword is just a ceiling item. It's not going to do anything like that.
Well, it's also
But
heavy, but yeah.
yeah, but in the anime, he has, you know, the Super Saiyan Rage, or Ikari. And I'm okay. I'm personally, in my story, you know what I said screw it. Trunks should have both, right?
What do you mean both?
Both
what?
Ikari and the healing powers.
Oh yeah, the healing powers. That's right. Yeah. I wouldn't be. Yeah, the healing powers is kind of an ass pull.
No,
I'm
I don't
with
think
you
so.
though.
No, like
with,
I said, he
no,
got
because
it
you're
from-
right. He trained with Kibito. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just I didn't expect that when it first happened. Like when it first.
And I think it was a great way of also as well for Trunks to not only, when he uses the healing powers on people, it can implement the Zenkai boost. That's another way. So that's actually, you know what? That's actually a different discussion. I'm gonna bring this up right now. I don't really fully answer the question, but the manga and the anime, they both had a different explanation behind how the Zenkai boosts work. In the manga, it was flat out understood that that the Zenkai boosts, like Goku and Vegeta would receive, they would get weaker and weaker over time. Like they wouldn't give them a full, like, you know, full scope of like power boost like they did anymore. Because I think the Zenkai boost was supposed to be an adaptive thing. In the anime, the Zenkai boost is literally the only possible explanation towards Goku actually being able to continue fighting as best as he is in the Tournament of Power. Because as he's recovering from the fight with Jiren, as he's recovering from the Spear Bomb, the Zenkai boost is the only plausible and feasible explanation that explains why he's even able to continue going and continue getting stronger as everything goes on. Is that it's that Zenkai boost. I don't think you can necessarily follow it that way if you're going on it based on the manga material, and that's why the manga has very different styles of writing to it in comparison. But let me ask you specifically, and the rest of the chat, if you're gonna pick between the Zenkai boosts, right? Do you like how the manga did it or the anime did it?
We may have to do a poll on that. I just want to say because we have to do a few polls. Also, I want to address Trenton's question here or statement. What about others that train with the Kais? They don't have healing powers. Trunks train. It's implied that Trunks trained with the Supreme Kai longer than anybody else, including Gohan. Because Supreme Kai went to him. Remember, everyone else is dead in that timeline. He went to him, so they stuck it out for a while. Trunks got so strong training with the Z Sword that he unlocked Super Saiyan 2. So clearly the training with Kaioshin was much bigger than anything else. So let me address the previous poll, bro. We got 322 votes. What do you think is the best name for this arc remake? DBS Trunks got 28%. DBS Zamasu got 21%. DBS Black got 51%. So the winner of that poll is DBS Black. What do you think about that?
I'm down with Black, bro. I like that. To be honest, after I made that logo for you, and I sent it over, I was like, man, actually DBS Black would have been a way better name.
We could change it.
Would have been a much cooler looking name.
We could change it if you want. It's not a big deal.
Nah.
Okay. Now you said you're asking about the Zenkais, right? I'm gonna actually do a little bit of a different poll. I'm gonna tell them pick one. All right. This is gonna be a tricky one. All right. So I'm gonna have y'all pick between Super Saiyan Ikari or the healing powers. Now, I agree with Heesh. I would like to see both because the Ikari form I thought it was a cool moment for Trunks. However, I also think that it needed to be explained more. I think we can figure stuff out, but it needed to be explained more. However, I just put a poll up. If you are watching me on X, switch over to YouTube. Check me out on YouTube, Geekdom 101. And on YouTube, you'll have access to the poll. Plus, this stream is mostly for the audience on the Geekdom 101 YouTube channel. So, So I'm just letting you know, I'm letting the people know, bro, like, to hop over there. Right now, go ahead and vote when you can, y'all, on this new poll, Healing Powers or Ikari. Now, let me get this super chat real quick. I would love a Universe 6 arc where they meet the king who's looking for a successor and a newly written Tarble becomes that guy. What is up with this Tarble shit, bro? This has been... Heesh, this has been a thing that's been ongoing now for like 3 shows. There's this weird contingent of fans. Listen, I'm not saying I don't like Tarble. Tarble's cool. I have no problem with him. But there's this weird group of fans who have been super chatting and talking about Tarble. Like, where is this Tarble fan club coming from? Did he get unlocked in Sparking Zero and we didn't know about it? Is that what happened?
I don't know where they're coming from, but I think I do agree with the masses that I don't think Tarble should have just been a one-and-done character. I think it makes more sense for him to have been implemented into the story. I think clearly a lot of people are very passionate and they feel the same way. Though, to be honest, it's that we're not going to see Tarble in Super. I'm just going to say it out loud. It's not going to happen because Tarble... he doesn't add anything to the story. Hell, he barely added anything to his own story into there. And to be honest with you, I think the entire aspect potential of Vegeta having his own brother, I think kind of had its own missed opportunity. They could have made him a much more interesting character, right? But I also understand why Toriyama wrote it that way, because if Tarble was just like as rash and just as strong as everyone else, then he would have gone and had the same fate as just the rest of the Saiyans in one way or another. The only reason why Vegeta is even the way that he is right now is because he actually changed and Goku he had the Goku effect take place on him. That's the main reason why he survived. Raditz was meant to be that irredeemable character whom they just had no choice but to go. Goku even
Raditz is not Tarble. Now, I do think, I mentioned this the other day, I do think Tarble can be used as a vehicle to kickstart a new arc, whether it be he shows up on Earth all fucked up because some new villain beat him up, or when they actually get to the Black Frieza fight, he would be the perfect guy for Black Frieza to kill, for Vegeta to get fucking mad and master Ultra Ego and kill Frieza. That's just one idea. So I think Tarble can be utilized as like a character to help. Basically, Tarble can be used to show the world that Vegeta actually does care about his little brother and give him a moment. So maybe that, again, I'm not saying he's not going to ever be a main character. He's never going to be as strong as Goku and Vegeta. You can't use him like that. He's not a main Saiyan. But having him be somebody who ends up being fodder for Frieza or for a new villain, I think would work.
Absolutely.
I think.
Freaking lootly.
All right, now, Random Hero says it should be altered to be like SSG Omen type. I think he's talking about the blue and the red, like, back and forth. I mean, here's the thing. We didn't see, and I want y'all to really understand this. People really need to understand this, bro. I'm about to spit some real behind the scenes shit to y'all. There's a reason as to why we didn't see Super Saiyan God Vegeta in Super. And the reason why is because Toriyama never told the animation staff at Toei that Vegeta had Super Saiyan God. They just drew him as blue because Toriyama never drew a Super Saiyan God piece of art until the Broly movie. All of a sudden, in the Broly movie, he's got God. We never saw God Vegeta prior to that. I think, and we have to remember this, Akira Toriyama, bro, you want to talk about what's quote-unquote canon? In Toriyama's head, what was in there, he's passed away now, bro, so there's nothing in there now. But what was in there was the real canon. And here's what I mean by the real canon. In Toriyama's head, Vegeta had Super Saiyan God the entire time after learning it from Whis. Supreme Kai already defused before Battle of Gods, and we know this because I've shown it here before. The Battle of Gods poster that Toriyama drew had Trunks with blue hair and Supreme Kai unfused. But guess what? He never told Toei. So because he never told Toei, they assumed that Supreme Kai was staying fused in Battle of Gods, and they assumed that Vegeta didn't have God. This is the truth. This is what happened. Now with this Dragon Ball Super remake, now they can shift it and actually make it work with Daima, because there's two things that I didn't even talk about yet, Heesh. And that is the fact that if you listen carefully to the Dragon Ball Super Beerus trailer, you hear Supreme Kai, but you don't hear the Kibito Supreme Kai fusion.
I thought they had the same voice.
No, I think it's two different voices.
No, it's the same voice.
Is it the same voice? Well, it sounded more like regular Supreme Kai. So don't be surprised if he's already unfused in the Super Remake. I'm not saying for sure he's gonna be, but don't be surprised.
No, I'm somewhat expecting some Daima implementation into there. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to, because this idiocy of Daima's in a different canon, bro. I'm just so tired of hearing it. Like,
speaking of which, dude, I wouldn't mind seeing Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3 if he's having that training session with Trunks that they did in the anime.
Yeah.
Right? Like him showing it off. Also, if you
but then he goes to Blue and he's like, "This is even better," right?
Yeah, or God or Blue, yeah, whichever. He can go. He can totally just flex on Trunks and just go through all of like
like what Goku would do.
Yeah, just like that. What I personally, okay, this would be dope, but I would actually really like to see. So, one of the things that's gonna happen is we're gonna have to if they're implementing the manga, we got to see Super Saiyan Goku Black in there. But,
I was gonna talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take it a step further. If we want to have Goku Black go Super Saiyan, just give him the whole bag. Have him go Super Saiyan 2, have him go Super Saiyan 3. Have a Super Saiyan 3 Goku Black fight, versus Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. It's not going to add anything to the story. It's just going to basically
it's going to be a nice visual.
It'll be a great visual. Yeah, like we need more Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta implemented throughout the story, and I don't think it should be something exclusive to Daima.
I think you should make a stop motion with it. Unretire, come out of retirement and make another stop motion with that, because you have been retired from stop motion. Brett's 2000 says, just give Trunks Super Saiyan God, scrap SSJ Rage. I do not like that idea, because unless they do a situation where Trunks trains with Whis, it wouldn't make any sense. Like your idea is even more of an ass pull than Super Saiyan Rage, because with Super Saiyan Rage you could somehow fuck with it to where they can say that he discovered a form in between 2 and 3, but one that's more powerful than 3 and doesn't have the drawbacks. But again, that doesn't have an explanation either. But putting God in there would make even less sense. So if they're gonna do that, you'd have to have him training with Whis.
One thing I'm surprised you didn't actually talk about in your video. I'm sorry, I know you're going to read that other comment.
Wait, which video?
In Super Saiyan Rage, Ikari explained, right? You didn't.
Well, there's a lot I couldn't say, but yeah.
Well, no. One thing in particular that was a key visual when Trunks turned Super Saiyan Rage was him bulking up with his muscles like he does in Grade 3, and then slimming down, right? So that I think was actually an indication towards what the form might have actually been. Is that this was actually a better version of potentially of Super Saiyan 2, because obviously he's messing with the grades. There's other stuff going in. I think that might have been the intention. I remember other people were saying that it could have also been like because the way that the aura looked, it looked like he had some god key in his aura. But
the blue,
yeah. But I don't know. I still don't
know
personally
either.
know. But I like the idea of it being like a better version of Super Saiyan 2.
I like the idea of Ikari being like, somehow Trunks got some kind of god key, but it wasn't like the full one. I don't know. It really is I think Ikari's the most mysterious form in the history of this series, because even though Ultra Instinct is constantly having lore added to it, we don't know anything about Ikari. It's such a strange, just the concept, because when he first did it, I mean, it was such an ass pull. And then on top of that, when he does the Spirit Sword, where the fuck did he learn that? Like, there's so many things about the anime version. Here's the thing, though. The moment in and of itself is cool. I'm not even saying that I didn't like the fact that he made a Spirit Sword.
But it makes no sense.
But it makes no sense. I mean, but they can have it make sense. They can make sense of it if they just get creative.
If they're gonna replace the spirit, one thing okay, no, read that comment. Read that comment. Go ahead, read that comment. I don't want to interrupt you.
Because I know what's happening here. Majin Fang says Tarble wishes Planet Vegeta back at the end of Super. No, it gets better. It actually gets better. Okay, Toad Ma, thank you. No, this is the good one right here. They should bring back Raditz and Nappa into the canon. This guy, okay, timeout. Flight reacts. You have tried to purposely rage bait me for the past like 3 streams. Heesh. First, he says that he never saw DBZ. He played the video games only, which he knows that I hate. Then, and he argues with me about it. Then he says that he learned everything about Dragon Ball from Watch Mojo. And now he's saying this. This guy literally knows everything that I hate about this fucking fandom. And all he's done for the past 3 streams is try to rage bait me. And what I love most about this guy is...
him.
No. Here's what I love most. I called him out on it. He's like, "No, man. I'm not trying to rage bait you. I'm serious." Come on, bro.
Of course he's not gonna admit it, bro. He's trying to get.
But some people do admit it, but he's not. Like
he's gonna keep going, bro. I respect it though. But you took your name from Flight Reacts. Like that's an actual YouTuber.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. I did not know that. Junior says, "I'll take a coffee black." That's an inside joke. Only people that saw Family Matters would get that. Okay, let's look at the poll real quick. So right now, Super Saiyan Ikari is losing 57% for healing powers, 43 for Ikari. Okay, new poll. This is a new one, and I'm gonna. Heesh, don't give it away yet. Am I frozen? Am I frozen?
Yeah, now you're
okay. Good. Okay, no. I'm gonna switch to a different. Actually, I can just do it on this screen. Okay. Don't give it away yet, because I'm going to talk about this in a minute, all right? Okay. So here's my question to the chat. Do you want to see Super Saiyan Goku Black, not Rose? We're talking about yellow hair. Now, understand, we're still going to get Rose. I'm not deleting Rose. I'm asking you if you would like, because Toriyama did draw Goku Black with the golden hair and with the pink hair, but only the pink-haired one was used in the anime. I don't know if you guys remember that. Those of you who were watching the channel back when the arc was coming out, you may remember that I covered that. And in the manga, we do see golden-haired Super Saiyan Goku Black, and then he unlocks Rose. Do you want the golden-haired Super Saiyan Goku Black?
It seems silly that they didn't even add it to the anime. It's like, if they're trying to make merch, that's easy, more toys for them to sell. That's more money for them to make. And it also is just cool to see Super Saiyan Goku Black. Why don't we have it in there?
I actually think it looks good. The golden hair with the whole black outfit. I think it matches.
Yeah, I got it.
And Rose does too.
Kit, bro. It actually looks good on an SH Figure Arts figure, bro. But yeah, in general, the aesthetics is great. One thing I will say though is that I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. What was I gonna say?
Well, before we go, what do you think about?
Oh, I remember.
Okay, well, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, if they were going back to the poll, right? Here's the fun thing about this. If they were to actually remove Super Saiyan Rage entirely from the story, what's cool about it is that they can still technically use the same animation stuff that they did, but just remove the Super Saiyan Rage aura, and you can just say that that's just Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. Because number one, that actually fixes the problem of there not being a very clear difference between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 Trunks in the story. It just he doesn't. But if you would just give him Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, the hair that he has from Super Saiyan Rage or Super Saiyan Ikari, that would actually fix that problem. And then it justifies utilizing the same exact pieces of animation for all the instances in which he's fighting Goku Black in Super Saiyan Rage.
See, but then, here's the thing, though. You're going to have people bitching and moaning about Super Saiyan 2 Trunks being too strong. You know what I mean? Because Ikari Trunks was doing shit that fucking Super Saiyan 2 Trunks couldn't do. Like that, I don't hate your idea. It's just, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with this because they really needed to. Like, Ikari doesn't make any sense. Like, there's a lot of ass pulls in Dragon Ball, especially in Super. Ikari is one, bro, where to this day I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, and then the spirit sword. I mean, okay, look, the very next super chat, right? Rick Crick says the spirit sword was amazing to me. Look, it was a cool ass technique, but like Heesh said a minute ago, it doesn't make sense. Where did that come from? How did he learn? He never learned the Genki Dama. He never trained with King Kai. How does he know how to do a sword version of it?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you one of the ideas. I'm gonna tell you one of my ideas.
Yeah, do it. That's what we're here for.
You can still have the spirit sword in this remake and have it make sense.
Okay.
Just have Vegeta do it.
Yeah, you could. And you're right.
Have him, like, he does the spirit sword already and then put the spirit bomb energy into it. Boom. That would be great.
All right. Now, the poll right here, right? We got 114 votes. 83% said Super Saiyan Yellow Black. They want to see it. 84%. 16% said no. So I'm just going to say this. I'm almost certain that we are going to see that in this remake. The other thing that I'm almost certain we're going to see, and I say almost because I don't exactly know, but I'm almost sure that we are. The other thing that we're probably going to see is Goku doing Hakai, which we saw him do in the manga, but not in the anime. He tried to do Hakai, but he failed at it. Now, Heesh, what do you think? Should Goku try to use Hakai in this version? Or is it a situation where you don't want to do that because you know you've got Ultra Ego coming for Vegeta and you want to kind of separate that? What do you think about Hakai, Goku? Remember, he didn't actually pull it off. He failed, but he tried.
I mean, had it been a different enemy than Zamasu, it would have been considered successful because you saw he evaporated half of him. The only reason why he even survived was because regeneration.
The immortal thing.
Yeah, so technically that is a kill move for other enemies if Goku wanted to use that.
Right.
But I don't think Goku... Do I think that Goku utilizing the Hakai adds anything to it? Like, if anything, it simply adds to the fact that Goku is unsuccessful at doing it, Vegeta is, and that shows a separation, a difference between Goku and Vegeta's psychology, right? So
yeah.
So that I think is something that makes it more clear. However, if they were to completely remove that, I think that would also be okay because at the end of the day, it was like it didn't actually necessarily help. But I'm not against the idea of Goku doing it. I don't think it was a bad move because it didn't make that much of a difference to the overall story.
Yeah, I don't think it was that big of a thing. So I want to real quick address this comment. The Spirit Sword's a DB Online reference Trunks order from Gohan. Brother, Gohan never did the Spirit Sword though. So let me just tell y'all something. The only time in Dragon Ball history that Trunks ever saw a Spirit Bomb / Genki Dama, the only time he saw one was in Dragon Ball Z Movie 7 when Goku fought Super Android 13. And we know that the movies are not part of the main continuity. Therefore, Trunks never saw Goku use the Spirit Bomb, so he could never learn it. They have to... That's the thing that, honestly, bro, this arc... You know what this arc taught me, Heesh? That the writers just wanted to make hype moments, probably for the kiddies, that no offense, but the younger crowd, right? Instead of thinking, how can we have this make sense? Ikari makes no sense, and Trunks doing a version of the Genki Dama makes no sense. And they could actually explain it somehow. Will they though? I don't know. But it doesn't make sense. Right. Okay, Rogue Man says, I want to see all SSJ formed, SSG and Kaioken. Okay, I'm actually glad you brought that up because that's going to be the next question, not just for you, but for the chat. All right, here's the big one. In the manga, Goku used a form called Completed Blue, where he took all of his energy and he compressed it into his own body, right? That was not in the anime. And in the manga, Goku with Completed Blue, and this pissed me off so much. after Vegeta fights Zamasu, Goku, and this is merged Zamasu. This is Goku Black and Zamasu fused together. Goku's actually fighting and winning at one point against merged Zamasu with completed blue. I hate it. 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 I don't give a fuck how strong completed blue is. The fact that completed blue was relative to Vegito blue makes absolutely no fucking sense to me.
I don't think he was relative. I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe completed blue is actually relative to Vegito blue.
But he was fucking. He was doing as good as.
He was doing as good as Zamasu, but it suggests that merged Zamasu was actually like already like he's weaker, bro. Do you remember? If you remember,
yeah, but he's immortal.
Yeah, but Vegeta wasn't actually Vegeta wasn't actually originally in Toriyama's original manuscript. The anime staff,
the anime added him, and then Toyotaro did. Right. We talked about that.
And that's because Toriyama believed that Goku and Vegeta could handle Zamasu. So Goku specifically. I'm not saying Goku is not as powerful as Vegeta. That is blatantly like untrue to say that he is, right? But could Goku and completed blue stand toe to toe with merged Zamasu? Yes, I think he can. I think that can be a completely separate thing while still keeping Vegito on his own higher scale. Because if you remember, right, this was just only dialogue in the manga, but of course, you know, somebody, I can't remember who, somebody like compared Vegito's power to Beerus. And already considering that Beerus like was already like a moving goalpost, right? That could mean different things at that point in time. But it's obviously very clear that Vegito was much stronger than merged Zamasu. Like obviously, just because Zamasu was fighting Vegito, he was only lasting as long as he did because he's immortal, right? Like you know how like in the card games do they always put comparing Janemba and Gogeta, bro? Janemba didn't even touch Gogeta until the very end, but at that point he was already evaporated. Like Janemba's literally nowhere near Super Saiyan Gogeta in Fusion Reborn, and I think it's the same exact thing with Zamasu. He just happened to be the opponent that Vegeta was facing, and he was able to survive. We're not putting Goku as strong as Vegito, but to put him against, like to say that
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're saying fighting against Zamasu is fine.
Here's what you're saying. I think you're saying is let's say that merged Zamasu's here. Now I want to also say real quick before we get to that, the merged Zamasu power scale is different in the anime than the manga. This is where things get tricky. The power scale is different. What you're saying is that merged Zamasu's here and completed blue might be around here, but Vegito's all the way up here.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying. Okay,
yes.
No, and I don't even hate that idea. It's just weird to me that we see Vegito blue and then we have Goku do the completed blue. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing too, bro, is merged Zamasu was way, at least implication-wise, it seems like merged Zamasu was stronger in the anime than in the manga. Because the anime version ends with him fusing with the fucking universe at the very, very end. When he sort of becomes one with the universe. Something we've never seen before in Dragon Ball. They got it from the final villain of QQ Sentai Go-Go 5. They did. I showed you, I think, which was brought to America as Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. But my point is that, like, I don't know, man. I feel like going from Vegito Blue, and you're right, Vegito Blue should be able to smack Zamasu around, but merged Zamasu is still. Here's where things get confusing, bro. This is where the writing pisses me off. Merged Zamasu is a Potara fusion of Goku Black, which is Son Goku, Super Saiyan Rose from post hit fight, and Zamasu with the Potara boost. Now again, Vegito is stronger. We ain't even gonna argue that. But it just seems weird to me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm fucking nuts. That a Goku completed blue could stand toe-to-toe with a fucking Potara fusion. You don't think that's weird, bro? Like, that just weirds me out. Like, just thinking about it weirds me out. And again, merged Zamasu seems stronger in the anime.
To me, it still just
You
seemed
know?
like a case of Goku being able to fight him, but only because he was in fight or flight. It's Goku when he was doing Perfected Blue, he was having all these struggles, like
Hold
in
on.
being able to.
I'm not heated, bro. Am I heated, Heesh?
No, you're passionate. You're passionate, and I'm all for it.
I'm not mad. I'm confused. That's what I
Yeah,
am.
no, I
Go,
get you,
go,
bro.
go ahead, bro. Yeah, I'm genuinely confused. But
No,
go ahead. I mean,
anyways,
interrupt you.
Goku in that situation, from when I was reading the manga, the impression that I got from it was that he was in a state of fight or flight, right? He was giving it all he's got. He's basically containing all of the key of Super Saiyan Blue into him for the very first time, and
Yeah.
he's struggling to do that. He's improvising, but Goku's able to stand toe to toe in a way with it because, like, the man is a martial artist. The man is still adapting, to the fight and to the flow of Zamasu's field. So I think it makes sense for him to be able to still be able to somewhat do that. Plus, remember, it's like yes, he's a little bit strained from the battle, from the fights that he had before. But when Vegito took the Senzu Bean in the manga version, I know they had two Senzu Beans in the anime, but in the manga version, they just like Vegito just took the Senzu Bean right after fusing, so that they only had to eat one.
There are so many weird differences. Like the deeper you get into it, that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This is why this discussion. This is a very important discussion, bro, because this arc of all the arcs in Super, this one's the one that I think people are gonna really battle over the most.
I'm going to tell you one other thing though, right?
Yeah.
Whether you want Perfected Blue or Kaioken Blue, I'm going to say I want both. Both are dope. I think both are like really interesting, but I'll take it even a step further. If Goku Black is mimicking Goku's techniques, give him Kaioken Rose. That would be sick.
Wait, you're talking about Goku Black with Rose?
Goku Black is doing the Kaioken with Rose.
I'm trying to picture that in my head, and it's difficult.
Pink aura with the red aura around, like going around it.
I'm trying to picture it in my head, and it's fucking with me. We should get Griffin to draw it or something.
I have that in my
bro.
stop motion. I put it in there.
We're gonna watch that later now.
We'll watch it later.
You're gonna get me to watch it later. I don't know, bro. Like genuinely, this is I'm trying to discuss this with you and everybody in the chat because it is a tricky discussion to have because of how to this day, again, there are so many strange things about this arc. The Ikari thing, the spirit sword in the anime, the completed blue in the manga. There are so many times where I'm reading or I'm watching this and I'm scratching my head. Like I'm like, what is really going on here? I do want to say something though. Mm-hmm. I do like the idea of completed blue. The concept behind completed blue, I do like that a lot. I just have a hard time. This is where I'm struggling here. I'm having a hard time imagining that completed blue could actually go toe-to-toe with Zamasu just because, and again, dude, it's gotta be, I mean, do you think it's fair to say that merge Zamasu, much like Ultra Instinct was in the Tournament of Power manga version, merge Zamasu is much weaker in the manga than the anime? Like, is that fair to say?
I'm sorry, can you say that one last time?
Do you think that merge Zamasu's weaker in the manga than in the anime? Because in the anime, he's portrayed way stronger. Bro. With that fucking, like, seraph angel thing that he does.
Yeah, and him getting stronger. Like, it's almost like... it's almost like he in the anime, right? As he's getting stronger.
Make sure you vote in the poll.
Yeah, I think he's getting stronger because of the Zenkai boost. Goku Black, that part of him like was kind of dying from the Goku's Kamehameha, right?
Oh, so
but then like
the
Zenkai boost is actually helping influence him and continuously get stronger, and him doing all this wacky shit, right? I think it's still something that's taken from Super Sentai. Him getting bigger. Oh my god, that's totally Super Sentai. He's turning into a Megazord.
Yeah, and the ending is borrowed from Gogo 5. Yes, JD, I know Toriyama said that. I know that, but that doesn't change the problem of with how the anime portrayed him. You know what it is, Heesh? It seems like when Toei was writing this arc, they almost like took what Toriyama wrote and just kind of went too far with it. Like they
got too creative.
They elevated it to where it was like, okay, we're going to add, because I don't think Toriyama wrote the Spirit Sword or Ikari. I think that's because now, I want you to understand something, y'all. unlike other people on this platform, when I say something, I've got a reason to say it. We have never seen an Akira Toriyama sketch of Ikari Trunks. Toriyama has never drawn concept art for Ikari Trunks. It's never been revealed. That tells me it was an anime Toei decision. Heesh, it sounds like when Toei was writing this arc, they added a lot of stuff that was not in the manuscript, including fucking Zamasu being that strong and Vegeta blue and stuff like that. Because I don't think Toriyama wrote any of that. And that's why the canon thing gets fucking muffled. If Akira Toriyama writes a manuscript and a Toei writer comes along and changes it and adds to it, does that change how canon it is? That's why you can't.
Well, to be honest, like Toriyama, when he like specifically puts out a manga, right?
This is true.
They were adding, they were adding a little extra stuff for fans.
No, he's right, 100%.
Of course they were. Anyway, so
This
whenever
too.
Toriyama writes a manga, or anyone at Viz, like you're writing for Viz, same happened with Blue Evolution, kind of, but
It seems like it, yeah.
the whole thing about Super Saiyan, the whole thing about Toriyama writing originally was that he actually needs to get approval specifically from Viz before he's actually able to implicate his ideas, right? This is basic. What we're talking about is the same discussion behind when Toriyama, when we had like the new, when we had the Daima going on and they were talking about the Glins, and people were like, well, why aren't these people just called Makayo Shins? What happened to all the lore, behind that?
Toriyama just kept adding to it, changing it.
I don't even think he was necessarily changing it. I think some of the ideas could have been from Toriyama, and then maybe they could have been refined. But I also feel that it's a much more idea that Toriyama, he goes through his ideas. They have to go through the approval of someone else, regardless. Already, like I don't think that with everything that he writes down, like for example, the Cell Saga. When he was writing the Cell Saga, his editor Torishima was like, "Bro, why are these people?"
He was criticizing the androids, how they look.
The androids, and then 17, 18, those were criticized.
Toriyama
And then
was like,
Cell
"Fine,
was
I'll change it."
criticized. Like, it was a big mess, So I don't think that necessarily everything about Toriyama's original vision for a lot of the stuff that he writes is even able to be completely implicated in the way that he wants to. In fact, I think that a story in which Toriyama doing everything exactly as he wants to, without the influence and help of another person being there, would look vastly different in comparison. And in fact, that's why the Buu Saga, for example, is actually way better in the manga in comparison to the anime. Like I've heard a lot of people say that, but I think that the main issue is that still you can still somewhat see that in the manga that Toriyama wasn't exactly he didn't exactly fully know where he was going with the direction of the story, because it genuinely did seem like Gohan was being set up to be the new main character. Heck, when he came back, it seemed like Ultimate Gohan was going to be the one to defeat Buu, and then along the way, of course, like you see in an interview, Toriyama decided, hey, Goku, I don't think Gohan actually makes sense, so that's why he brought Goku and Vegeta, and that's what by that point in time, the story was actually able to come full circle and land at the ending that it needed to be at. Also, I appreciate you, Reckless Gamer.
Yeah.
Appreciate you a lot.
Well, yes. And we have a bunch of super chats to get to, but I do want to say this, and this may be a separate stream or a separate video. Heesh, I had a conversation recently with two people that I consider very intelligent when it comes to Dragon Ball and anime and all that. Black and Fist and Hail Zeon, right? Weird combination. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we talked about, and I think, and this is something I've talked to Griffin about also, because when it comes to Dragon Ball, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. How many people say that they're fans of Akira Toriyama, but in reality, they're fans of Takao Koyama's Dragon Ball Z, right? So how many of these supposed Dragon Ball Z fans, and I'm not criticizing or saying they're bad people or talking about the dub, it's just something to think about, how many of them have actually been able to compartmentalize the manga and the anime? And a lot of people, I think, love the way the anime does power-ups and the way also some of the filler stuff that's not in the manga, Goku versus Majin Vegeta, Pikkon, all these things that are Koyama, not Toriyama. So that makes me wonder, like, are all these Dragon Ball fans actually really fans of Koyama's Dragon Ball Z or Toriyama's Dragon Ball manga? And that's something to think about, because we may have a situation, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's just weird, that people think they're Akira Toriyama fans. This is what Griffin and I talked about. They think they're Akira Toriyama fans, but are they really? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To be honest, it's one of those things where
it's an interesting conversation.
Many people, I think they just say they're a fan of Dragon Ball Z and they love it like that. They don't really think about the scopes beyond that, because in order to really understand what is Toriyama and what is Takao Koyama, it really isn't a deep dive into the influence and such of all of things, that
And
I don't think a lot of people make that.
And you have to have read the manga. That's
but
the
I don't
thing.
think a lot of people make that distinction, in particular with Dragon Ball in general. So
No, right. And that's what I'm saying. I think some people think that, like, when people say Akira Toriyama did, I love Dragon Ball Z and Akira Toriyama, right? Do they actually love Toriyama? Have they actually read the manga? Or is it their nostalgia from all the great Dragon Ball Z moments? Anime.
It's a good question.
No, it is, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, and this is not just an English dub or American fan thing. That goes for the Latin American fandom too. Do people really love the anime? Like, how many of them have actually read the manga? And that's what Griffin and I talked about, because Griffin's one of those guys, bro, that, and you know this, he's like a Toriyama purist. Like, he actually doesn't like the Dragon Ball Z anime. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, it's something worth talking about. But I think, I'll be honest, Heesh, I feel like that discussion might be like too deep for even like YouTube, bro, because I don't think people are gonna understand that.
No, I think it would be great for YouTube. To be honest, I don't think the depths of what distincts these types of fandoms can just be something that we can even fully tackle in this live stream where it's about the Goku Black stuff.
No, I know, but it's just something that I wanted to share with you, because it's something I've been thinking about lately.
If you were I'll say this. To me, what I think establishes someone who is absolutely a Toriyama fan is someone who has actually read Toriyama's Dr. Slump. They've read a lot
of his other stuff.
One-shots. They've read
Jocko, Lady Red,
all this stuff. And Toriyama, there's a thing on Viz Media you can go ahead and read. It's called Toriyama's something
manga
theater. Toriyama's manga
manga theater. Yep.
Yeah, and it has basically all of
a lot of shit
and everything. If you're one of those people who are fans of Toriyama, then I think distinguished. Yes, thank you, the Xbox gamer, the Xbox gamer. I mean, yes, you can. If you're a fan of Toriyama, you should have read that. If you are a fan of Toriyama and you haven't read it, go read it. Go read Toriyama's manga theater.
I said recently. Go ahead, bro.
I'm just saying, it gives you a big headspace into like what Toriyama's writing mindset is beyond just Dragon Ball and beyond just Dr. Slump. It's like this man starts off as a fan of things from the very get-go, being a fan of Star Wars, being a fan of all sorts of different media, Terminator, and he just implements all of this stuff into a manga. Like, he references multiple different things and applies it into there and creates his own, way of referencing multiple different things beyond just Journey to the West. And he's done this writing style for plenty of other things for the longest time.
No, this is a good comment right here, but I will say I did write this recently on social media, and I want people to understand, I'm not trying to come off like some kind of like ego, like some kind of like, what's the word, that they use to describe like the geeks, which I am a geek. No.
Nerd? A geekdom?
No, that's me. No. The elitist, right? It's not even like an elitist thing. Like, I wrote that people, unless you've read non-Dragon Ball Toriyama works, I don't think you truly understand Akira Toriyama. And I'm saying it I'm not saying this to be insulting or disrespectful. I'm saying it to be honest. Akira Toriyama at his core is a gag manga writer. He doesn't take his stories all that seriously. But I think people believe in their heads because they've watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, right? They think that is Akira Toriyama, like that style of writing, those fights, all that creativity. And it is, but it's only a part of Toriyama. And the reason why we're even talking about this is because it does tie into Toriyama's manuscript, because clearly, Heesh, there were so many things that Toei added in Dragon Ball Super that Toriyama didn't write, that don't make any sense, but they're quote-unquote hype moments. Ikari, Spirit Sword, like, it's so obvious to me. That's why we talked about it, bro. So are people really fans of the man Toriyama or of the adaptation? So...
yeah, and the thing is that Dragon Ball is already go ahead and read that comment. I'm
gonna go through super chats, but finish your points. We got like 10 of them to go through.
The Toriyama, we're never gonna get an actual adaptation of what fully is like, the Toriyama style story.
I agree,
especially because the man is dead, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah, they're always gonna add to it.
But the idea of also just I forgot what I was fully gonna say before that, but just the whole idea of everything simply just being like, Toriyama. Dragon Ball was already a very different manga in comparison to what he had written before. So it really was like a big jump in his overall writing style and how he wrote before. That's why Dragon Ball started off very lighthearted, because it matched what he was used to. And then he started trying out new things. Dragon Ball actually, I think, was a very big way of him like experimenting from what he was already comfortable with Dr. Slump and applying, new things that he actually liked. Like it's a
martial arts stuff.
Yeah, martial art. Like it's a wonder that people, they look at Dragon Ball and they see like all these villains and they love them, bro. Much of Dragon Ball didn't even have villainy. Massive, all powerful villain that challenges the main character.
It wasn't until Tao Pai Pai. Tao Pai Pai. Because Tao beat him. That's why I called him the first Dragon Ball Super villain, because he beat Goku.
You're right.
So this comment right here, would it be possible to get a manga faithful DBZ adaptation, or is that crazy talk? The fact that you said DBZ adaptation, this is kind of my point without you realizing it. There is no Dragon Ball Z manga. It's Dragon Ball start to finish in the manga. That's it. But I'm not criticizing you for that. I'm letting you know. He's basically asking if they're ever going to remake it, like adapting the manga without filler. And that is certainly a possibility for the future. I've talked about that 1,000 times.
I mean, the closest you're going to get to that is not even Kai. It's the fan, Team Kian.
DBZ recut. DBZ recut, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Which, by the way, I have to tell people this now, and I hope people remember this. DBZ Recut and Team Kienzan is having a bit of a behind-the-scenes issue because...
No!
Yeah, well, I'm letting everybody know. Spiros quit the project. He was way too stressed out. And what they're doing now is they're going to redo OG Dragon Ball with the color corrected, and they're going to redo DBZ Recut with the color corrected Z. And they're going to do the dub next year, but it's going to take time. So if anybody is interested in that...
They should get a new dub, bro. Like, have fans dub it. Hell, hire me, bro. I'll dub Frieza.
Yeah, you would be a good Frieza, bro. All right. The Rogue Man says, I want to see all the Super Saiyan forms. I actually remember that. Oh, something else, too. The poll. I got to remember the poll. So this is the closest poll we've done so far on this stream. Completed Super Saiyan Blue or Kaioken Blue? Kaioken Blue is at 54%. Completed Blue's at 46%. That's very close. That's not even like a big... Like, it's not even like a landslide. 55-45. All right, we're going to end that poll. Okay, let me get through these super chats. But we have more to talk about. We're not even done yet. You could explain Ikari and healing with more training with Supreme Kai. Gohan only was there for a short period of time. Trunks would have had longer. I agree. That's what I said earlier. I agree with that. I agree. JD, Trunks probably learned the Genki Dama from King Kai with his telepathy during the future arc with Boo. Trunks was the savior of Earth after the Cell arc. Yeah, but that, of course, begs the question that I've been asking since I was a kid. Why didn't Goku, after dying from the heart virus, not contact them by putting his hand on Kai Osama, on King Kai, and talk to them? That never made any sense to me. This is why I say that. And again, this goes back to that conversation we had a minute ago about Koyama. The Cell Saga used to be my favorite story arc. But when you actually use your brain, the Cell Saga's got some of the worst writing Toriyama's ever done. There's great moments in it, and I love the moments, but there's a lot of shit that makes no fucking sense, and the characters are all morons. And I'm sorry, you know I love Dragon Ball, and I'm not saying I don't love the Cell Saga, but there are writing issues, objectively. And this right here, I don't hate the idea, but it just opens up another can of worms.
I need to call out this comment. Yo, Clips Delis. So the Goku being dead of the disease is exactly what like
that doesn't mean anything.
He can instant transmission over to King Kai, and then tell him what to do. You know, figure out different ways and try to work with
Why didn't he fucking go to King Kai and say, Gohan, Trunks, there's a room in the sacred realm called the Room of Spirit and Time where you can train a whole year in a day. Use it. Stupid, bro. It's stupid.
What about Mr. Popo? Mr. Popo could have been, the one to help out like he did in the Namek saga. You know, with go to him on his magic carpets and then hey, I can help out.
The Cell Saga makes no sense, yo. It doesn't make sense. This fucking guy. All right.
They should have called Tarble. They should have.
I'm telling you, bro. There's a Tarble thing going on. All right. All right. Kyle says Trunks trains Supreme Kai in the manga. Maybe he trained with him in the anime too, bro. Just you got more panels in the manga. Maybe they can retcon he learned Spirit Bomb from him. We talked. Actually, somebody else brought that up a minute ago. I would not be against that. It's implied that the Genki Dama is a technique that King Kai, Kaioken and Genki Dama, it's implied that he's the one that knows those techniques, not Supreme Kai. But maybe Supreme Kai does know. Either way, if they explain this, I would not hate it. I just want it to be explained. What do you think?
I mean, that'd be one way of doing it, but at the end of the day, is that you can call it still a hype moment, but I don't want it to come off. I'm mostly worried about them doing that and coming off like they're just like it's damage control. I don't want to have it show. I don't want to have that feeling of it being control. I'd actually rather them just remove it entirely, if anything, rather than keeping it in there.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I see where you're coming from with the damage control thing, but I almost feel like they did that to themselves because they had to add all the bullshit.
I've heard people say that that Super right now is damage control and that this is remake. I don't think that it is, and here's why. It's because
not entirely.
Yes, there's some aspects which they will have the opportunity to go ahead and fix in this story. But the problem is what makes it different than it, because if they're actually implementing aspects of Dragon Ball Daima into this, and you're actually going and making the definitive continuity, then I think that it actually makes it it makes it a much better consumable product overall for people to going ahead and watching Super, because let's be honest, the anime has been gone for a very long time, and I'm glad that it's coming out in that it's coming out soon. It's coming back, but this is also a very good, I think the main thing behind this is that it's mostly a marketing strategy as well, to not only make like the definitive way to watch the story, but to also to uprise and bring up more hype for when the anime continues with the Moro arc in 2027.
It's like we're starting over. Like it really, I was gonna, okay. You know those like trailers I made that were like the Marvel parody trailers?
Yes.
Yeah, and people got on my ass and they were like, "Oh, you're misleading people. Super's not coming back." Hey, suck it. Suck it. Suck it. Listen, my birthday is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And this dick ain't gonna suck itself. I just want to remind you of that. Now, yes, I was gonna do one, bro, and I was gonna use John Lennon's song called "Starting Over." and I was gonna have him like. Have you ever heard that song, "Starting Over"?
No.
Okay, so it's John Lennon from the Beatles when he was single, and the song is like when he went solo, and the song is about like a relationship, like starting over in a relationship. I was going to do that, but I never got around to it. No, they were a gag. They were a gag, and I had fun making them, but I was kind of telling you that Goku was coming back. People get on me for everything, bro. I don't really care anymore because they're fucking people. Bro,
You're kind of a public figure, so everyone's gonna deal with it.
it's not just that. Like, the anime fandom is some of the whiniest pussies I've ever run into in my entire life, and that's just the way it is. So Kyle says Trunks trains Supreme Kai in the manga. Oh yeah, wait, my bad, I already did that one. Crick, that showed Goku's ability to evolve. I'm not sure what you're referring to, because that was earlier. Maybe the Hakai stuff. Speaking of riding into corner, when is Resurrection F arc supposed to take place? Because they can do Perfect Blue there. 2 to 3 arcs for the canon manga. No, Resurrection F is a few months after Battle of Gods, and no, they cannot do Perfected Blue there. That wouldn't make sense, because that if that's the case, then why didn't Goku use it against Hit? Like, that doesn't make any sense, bro. All right, Junior says, Heesh, I wish I can compliment you. This guy has a habit of like hitting on all my guests, bro. I think he wants to fuck everybody. I don't know. But I don't want you to stumble, brother. So then, do you have any memories of a convention you went and thoughts on TADC? What is
The Amazing Digital Circus, bro?
All right, this is something between you and him.
Okay, I didn't even know that he knew that I watched this, bro. This was like something that I was only doing in my Discord server. I was introduced this story like about a month ago, and they recently put out like an incredible recent episode.
So he's in your server?
No, he's not. I don't know how he knows I even watched the show. Unless he's someone, maybe he has a different name in my server, and I'm not recognizing it. But yeah, Junior, like, I loved that new episode of Amazing Digital Circus. I don't want to get into any spoilers. Danny, I think you should watch it. It's a free YouTube series. You can just go and just watch. It's only 8 episodes right now, and it's a 3D animated thing about people who are stuck in this. It's a very in this virtual reality, and it's a very, how do I put this? It's a very psychologically inducing show with a lot of really, really good turns, and I think you would have a lot of fun with it.
You know what I want to do? I want to make my anime finally. It's called Ebony. So my anime is about here's the plot. Here's the plot, all right? This is genius. It's about a guy who's in the Ku Klux Klan, but he falls in love with a black girl. So the story is he has to hide the fact that he's in the KKK from the girl, and he has to hide the fact to the KKK that he likes a black girl, and calamity ensues.
It sounds like it's inspiration from the Bronx Tale.
It's called Ebony, because that's her name. Anyways, okay. Junior, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're going to watch Heesh's thing later.
Oh, Dave? Yeah, well, he has one more question in there. Any memories from the convention? The last convention I went to the last convention I went to was Command Con 4. Not as good as Command Con 3, not as good as Command Con 2, and I'm sure not as good as Command Con 1. But I only went to the last good convention was 3.
Not as good as anything, really. Dave Pierre says, more disdain for Zeno from Zamasu in the remake. Well, I would like to see if they explain. I would like to see if they explain where the Grand Priest was during the destruction of the gods of destruction and the Kais. Actually, that's a good. Let's make that a poll question right now, and I'm gonna ask you the question too, Heesh. But I want to ask them first. Do you want to see? Remember, Heesh, we had this idea for Unseen, and maybe we'll do it if they don't do it. Do you want to see Goku Black killing all the Kais? Actually see it?
Yes, do it.
You're influencing the chat, but I think I know.
I'm sorry, but like
I know.
I shouldn't have even said anything.
No, it's fine. You're voting yes, so whatever. I want to see.
Don't vote yes because I do it. Don't be a sucker. Like, give your own opinion.
Like Graham. I want to see Goku Black slaughter all the fucking.
Oh my
That was
god.
an unseen episode that we were gonna do. Maybe we will do it. If they don't do it in Super, we're gonna do it someday.
Yo, that's Cyber Spiral right there he's from my server, bro.
Who?
That's my Cyber Spiral in the chat right there.
I think
He
the
said he
chat
just joined
moved.
in and the first thing he heard was KKK. That's
Well,
hilarious.
good. Perfect timing. Phoenix King says, no Potara limits. Vegeta shares his energy with Trunks to hold off Zamasu and make the spirit bomb. Okay, I actually like this
Ooh.
idea. Vegeta gives Trunks the SB and he makes the spirit sword and then everything plays out the same. I would actually be perfectly fine with a situation where Goku teaches Trunks how to gather Genki. And remember, Vegeta sort of learns how to do it with Force Spirit Fission. We see that in the Moro arc, but this is before that. I would be okay with Goku teaching Trunks that, or yes, have Vegeta or maybe even Goku gather the energy. Have them do the whole thing where they're gathering the energy, but instead of making it into a ball like he would in Dragon Ball Z, you give it to Trunks, it makes the sword, and that would actually be awesome because then it's Goku and Trunks working together. I love that idea. What do you think? I love it.
I think it
love
would be. I think it would be great. You know, that is another. I was thinking you can do something like that already with Goku. Either way, like if you were to have, because Goku's given his energy to people before, like Krillin when he was about to do it. So yes, you can totally
Right.
give it to Trunks, and he can manifest that energy into a sword. You know, but even before he did the spirit bomb, right? Trunks put his energy at the tip of his sword and fixed it with that part. Anyway, so yes, that sounds weird. And pause. And then so him being able to add the spirit bomb into it makes complete sense. In fact, I love that idea a lot of him going about it. It's just don't make it such an asshole. Do not make it a case of Trunks knowing how to do the spirit bomb. You can still implement that and then have it be utilized differently. Hell, I don't even think it doesn't even have to be a case of like, oh, the spirit bomb has to have just enough energy to be able to kill him. If you manifest it into a weapon, like your energy combined with that, like and the way you're utilizing it, you're using it like a tool. Of course, you can do it like you do that to split up Zamasu and then have like the bits and pieces work when you combine it with your own attacks. I would love that. And also one more thing, bro. Thank you, Mystic Bulbasaur, for the 10 gifted memberships.
I was about to get to that, but yeah. I mean, I think that with the Spirit Sword, he should cut Zamasu in half, and then what'll happen is the Goku Black portion dies, but the Immortal Zamasu version gets Mafubud. And so the Goku Black version's dead, but the Zamasu Immortal gets Mafubad into the jar, and that's how the arc ends. Fuck all that Zeno shit. I fucking hate the Zeno button. I'm sorry, but the fact that Goku has access to the strongest being in the multiverse and that he's friends with him kills all the fucking tension. I don't like it. I know some people do. I'm sorry. I don't like it. And yes, thank you, Mystic Bulbasaur, for your generosity in creating memberships for people.
Yeah, I have agree. I'm like split on it because on one hand, I understand them having to write repercussions in there for Trunks and the time travel and him like doing all of that.
Same.
At the same time though, I don't know if there's another way that they could have done to implement that. I mean, the whole purpose of Trunks' character since the very beginning is that he's meant to be the sole survivor that is infused with hope. So him dying he needs to be the representation of hope, for his timeline. And that's why it's like, even if his timeline was to get destroyed, he needs to continue to live on, because as long as he lives on, everyone remains alive with him.
Well, we're going to talk about that ending here in a minute, where you're talking like the ending. Mecha J, you're wrong about this one, bro. The button does not set up the TOP. The TOP was already set up in the Universe 6 arc when Zeno made his first appearance. The button has nothing to do with it. You could eliminate the button completely from this entire story, and it wouldn't change anything except for Goku going to visit him when he wants to. Okay. Terrible Glory says, do you think Toriyama already wrote the outline for Totoro for the Black Frieza arc? I don't know. I do not know, but I do want to comment on something. I want you guys to remember when it came to the Future Trunks arc, the anime version came out first and was done first. When the Tournament of Power was airing, the Trunks arc manga was still going on. Remember, the anime was ahead of the manga at that point. So whatever we saw in the anime was first and the manga was second. As far as Toriyama writing the outline for Black Frieza arc, I do not know. None of that's been revealed yet. But what I do want to tell you is when it comes to this arc we're talking about today, Toriyama wrote the outline for certain for Toei and Toyotaro, and then both of them added to it. Both of them
still,
did.
honestly, to me, like, I'll be honest with you, I still think it's a stretch to assume that Frieza would actually, like, have his own dedicated arc moving forward, because the whole thing that I understood with him is that he still wants to be, like, you know, lurking and doing his own thing in the shadows while everyone else is distracted with something else, just like in the Granola arc. Like, no one was able to notice that he was training, and he caught them completely by surprise.
Yes, he's a guy who's gonna appear and then disappear until the
He's
time
a politician, bro.
Frost is. Remember how they portrayed Frost?
Yeah, but Frieza even more so, because he's going to be doing stuff while other people are distracted. He will be banking on on them being distracted by other things.
Right. Well, I agree with you. I think Frieza. I don't think they should go to Black Frieza yet. I like the idea of him appearing once in a while and then disappearing. Rydrick says, "Do anyone remember the game Tobal Number 1?" Yes, I own that game. That game is a fighting game RPG hybrid. It's like an RPG, and then you get into like a Tekken style 3D fighting game. And Akira Toriyama did all the art for it. I own a physical copy of that game, and I have Tobal Number 2, the ROM. Have you ever heard of Tobal Number 1? That was on PS1. It's an old-ass game.
No, that was before my time.
Yes, and Toriyama did the art on it. In fact, I remember I played a prank on the Dragon Ball fandom because there's a character in that arc that looks like a fat version of Android 18. Like, imagine... like the blonde hair and everything, but she's like fat. And I told everybody it was going to be a new Android on Twitter, but I was bullshitting. So, but I told them I was bullshitting. Yeah, Tobal Number 1's great. All right,
save that for your April Fool's tweet.
I know, and that's coming up 2 days. Super Saiyan 4 MUI. Just need one scene where someone asks about Trunks' hair. Then he says he grabbed some permanent hair dye from an abandoned store thinking it was shampoo. Or he says that he trained and learned God Ki before anybody, and that's why it's blue. Actually, I like your idea.
And say, oh, Trunks, as he got older, his hair turned blue.
Yeah, but remember, every time they did a flashback in Super to the Future Trunks special, instead of showing the footage from Z, they instead reanimated it, and Trunks had blue hair then too. I did a whole video on it, bro. Trunks' hair has always been inconsistent.
I don't care. It doesn't count.
I know. Toadma says, a lot of this is just nostalgia for a lot of people. If they don't watch OroGDB, I doubt they would read anything else from Toriyama. No, you're talking about the hyper casuals. And you're right. They don't know shit about Toriyama. It's like I talked about it the other day on Twitter or on Twitch, bro. These motherfuckers are like, yo, rest in peace to my dog Toriyama. Love Dragon Ball Z. I love when Toriyama wrote Goku being hope of the universe, man. That was some great writing. And that type of shit, bro. Fuck, dude. Akira Toriyama, you're a genius for saying Bardock's a brilliant scientist. You know what, Toriyama? It's Super Saiyan being a need, not a desire. Great writing. None of that was Toriyama, bro. It wasn't even Koyama. That was the point. CK Nice. Who are the alphas and betas of Dragon Ball? I don't think we have time to go into all that right now, but I will tell you that Goku is certainly alpha. Gohan goes from beta to alpha, back to beta, and then alpha again. Vegeta is a beta for the majority of Dragon Ball Z and then becomes an alpha near the end and into Dragon Ball Super. And that's the general outline. Piccolo's pretty alpha, I would say. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? Trunks pretty beta, bro, with his daddy issues.
What?
Future Trunks.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Bro's got a lot on his plate, though. All things considered.
Who, Trunks?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, literally everything is riding on him, bro.
every
for his
time,
for his
and
timeline.
he has bad luck all the time.
Course he does.
Random
And he
heroes.
knows.
Yeah, my first time with the DB manga was with you and Jordan. Okay, well, that's okay, but make sure you read it on your own because we weren't able to read it page by page. DBZ growing up, Super when it dropped, and then this channel for the good content. PS Tarble. Well, here's the thing: you're missing some things because you have not explained whether or not you watched original Dragon Ball GT. You said Z and Super, right? But did you watch original Dragon Ball GT, the movies, and Daima? And here's the thing. If you're one of those guys that has only seen Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, I'm not saying that it's not like I think good less of you. It's just weird that somebody would not have seen like if I get into a series, right, and I love it, like Dragon Ball, I have to see everything. I want to see every movie. I want to see every episode. I want to see every series. I can't just skip it, right? So it's one of those things where some people are just okay just watching Z once in their life, and that's fine. But this YouTube channel, I think, is catered more to the hardcores. This is like the master's degree channel, bro. Random heroes, I've seen it all just very sporadically. Well, you've seen it all, so and that's why I was asking. So, the Lone Wolf, Room of Spirit and Time, what would you use it for?
In the Trunks arc or like
No, I think he means in real life. I would throw people in there and then break the door so they can't get out. That's all I can think of.
oh no.
Like, what would you use it for? You know what? Like, being able to go into a room and, like, train and then leave and only a day's gone by, that could be pretty useful.
That'd be good for the procrastinators, bro. They
I-
just on like the last day before the deadline of whatever work they got to do, they go into the room
That's
sphere in
true.
time, get
That's
it done,
true.
get out and throw it in.
You're right. You're 100% right. I'm not one of them, but you're right. Ray John Stooley, how can you say you know Dragon Ball without watching the originals literally the start? I agree with you. I had a conversation recently with Black Bulma. I don't know if you guys know her. And we talked about like the fandom and the dub and like all the different aspects of the fandom. And I really, to be honest, I don't have a problem with super casuals that only saw Dragon Ball Z on Toonami and that's it, and they just remember it and they play the games. I've been friends with people like that. That's not the issue. The issue is when they try to challenge somebody like me. I don't like saying this because it comes off egotistical. And I genuinely am not an egotistical person. But I'm going to say some truth bombs right now. I have spent the last 26 years studying Dragon Ball. I've watched it in 3 different languages. I own all the guidebooks. I've read everything. I've done over 3,000 videos on it. Until you do shit like that, bro, it's no different than if I'm going to go to, let's say, a college, right? And the instructor there is a professor in physics. I'm not going to argue physics with a guy who's devoted a big chunk of his life to learning about physics. If you're a fucking dub fan who likes Bruce Faulconer and you've seen the show once on Toonami, please don't sit there and try to argue with people like me, Jordan, Derek, even somebody like Heesh, Lance. The minute that you start arguing with us, we're going to make you look stupid. And it's not like we're trying to make you look stupid. It's like, dude, just shut the fuck up and listen. You know what I mean? Just shut the fuck up. Like, let go of the nostalgia. Shut up and listen. But they're the ones with the ego. See, that's the funny thing is, people say I have a reputation for having an ego, which I don't, even though everyone has an ego. But there's people, if you're like one of those guys who like doesn't know shit about Dragon Ball, but you think that you do. Like today, for example, can I show them what I saw today, Heesh?
Sure.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I kind of want to show the chat this because this is a little bit.
I don't know
off
what you're
topic.
talking about, but
Okay, well I will show you because this is an example of one of the strangest things I've ever seen from this fandom, and everybody in the chat's gonna agree with me, even if you're a casual, because it really, I've never met someone like this before. Let me get to. Oh, there's your retweet. Okay, hold on. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys this here in just a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna share it with you as well, Heesh. Let me share my screen. Hang on. Share screen. Okay. So earlier today, right, this is so everybody can see, I shared the scene where Vegeta powers up against Cell and becomes Super Vegeta, right? And I talked about how this is Super Saiyan Grade 2. Now, it's called Super Saiyan Grade 2 in the Future Trunks special pamphlet, in some of the games where it appears in and in all the guidebooks. That's what it's called, Super Saiyan Grade 2. It's not Super Saiyan 2. Anybody who's seen the series, you can call it Ascended Saiyan, Ultra Super Saiyan, or Super Vegeta. Whatever name you want to call it, everyone who has watched this fucking show knows that when Vegeta did this, it wasn't Super Saiyan 2. Look at this comment. This is Super Saiyan 2, and I don't care who disagrees or why. I know what's in the manga. If you actually studied it, you'd know why calling it this Grade 2 and not just SS2 is flawed logic.
Then what do you call Trunks' thing? Like, he literally went into a form that's stronger than this. Are you going to call that Super Saiyan 3?
And Goku explained this to Gohan when he buffs up and he's like, this is, he doesn't say this is the name of the form, but he buffs up and he's like, this is, you know, the next level. Oh, Dad, you're so strong. Then he goes to Grade 3. Oh, you can really beat Cell. And then Goku's like, no, this is not good. There's no, I'm too slow. So this is what I said to the guy. I said, listen, my friend, I have studied this series for 25 years, watched it in 3 languages. If you want to create your own fan fiction where this is SSJ2, that's you. Here in the real world, that's not what it is, and it's proven in anime, manga, guidebooks, games, etc. This is weird. And I'm not going to go through his replies, but he basically told me that I need to go back and restudy the series. This is the type of shit that fucking brings my piss to a boil. What kind of an egomaniac do you have to be to make up your own fucking canon and then argue with me? Like, and that's the shit that I deal with, and people think that I make this up. And again, I just muted the guy because it ended with him saying, I know a lot more about Dragon Ball than you, and I responded with the fucking K.
That's gotta be a troll. There's no way. It's gotta be.
He's an egomaniac. But the point I was gonna make is, these are people that I see, and they're real, and it's just like, look, there it is, Dragon Ball Z Flat Earthers. That's it. That's it. All right, one last thing. All right, before we get back to the trunk, we have a couple more topics left, but I want to get this out of the way now. Okay. I will be attending, and I am a guest, this May 22nd, 2026. I will be a guest at Comic Palooza 2026 in Houston, Texas. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area, or if you are in Texas and you want to fly there or whatever, I will be there. Death Battle's there. We try to set up a debate between me and them, but they very intelligently declined, which good for them, because I wouldn't want to make them look bad, even though, you know, I would have. Team 4-Star is going to be there. I got a panel with Metal Jesus Rocks and Grim Life Collective about YouTube. And I've got a special panel on Friday where we're going to watch the Neo's Seed of Might Dragon Ball. And I'm going to teach all the casual dubbies. I'm going to bring them in for a master's degree on Dragon Ball as we go through all of the intricacies of the real Dragon Ball Z, the real motherfucker. So that's gonna be May 22nd at Comic Palooza. Get your tickets. Also, I'll be taking pictures and I'll be selling prints. You can get an exclusive Geekdom 101 print. It's an art print, exclusive. You're not going to be able to get it anywhere else, and I will personalize it and I'll sign it for you. So if this is you taking a shot at me, bro, I want to repeat what I said. It's not ego, it's credentials, dog. I have credentials. You understand? Go ahead.
He might have been talking about that other guy.
Maybe, but if he's talking about me, are you gonna stream it? I don't think I'm gonna stream it.
That would be cool if you did.
I will. I would. It would be, but I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have the capabilities of it. I'll talk to them about it. It's my first time there, but
you would need someone as well probably to like help, like film the entire thing, because you're probably gonna have like your Q&A, like, and other people going in and asking about it.
Well, we are gonna do a Q&A also afterwards. So now, okay, if this is about me, bro, which I don't think it is, but if it is about me, you forget that earlier Flight Reacts he's been trying to rage bait me now for several days and he's failed. So see this guy right here,
that's a rage bait one,
that's a rage bait, but it's not gonna work. Okay, hold on. It's not up to me, Trenton. It's up to the convention and whether or not we can. So, Yeah, Mystic Bulbasaur. I didn't even know you were in Europe. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. No, dude, I'm not asking people to fly there. I'm saying if you can make it. It's mostly for those in the Texas area. All right, this is the last super chat we have here. Gohan and Goku Black interactions in the remake. I actually kind of agree with this. I don't think we're going to see it, but I wouldn't be against it. What do you think?
I wouldn't be against it at all. It's just a very unlikely thing because if they're combining the manga and the anime and adding bits and pieces of Daima most likely into it. So if they're going to be doing that, then where's Gohan going to fit? Tell me how Gohan's going to fit into this story if it's basically another retelling variation of the same story.
Let me ask you. Go ahead.
No, and then give me that argument, then I'll see if I can understand it.
Let me ask you something. The scene where Trunks and Gohan hung out in Super and Gohan had the ice cream, do you leave that in or do you take it out?
I think Trunks seeing Gohan happy compared to how he had seen him before and him being an adult and everything is what helped bring him closure. I think it actually makes him feel more at peace with that his actions and what he has done has left a good and impactful and positive effect to everything. I think that that should be kept in.
I know a lot of people.
I don't think it needs to. Well, I don't think it will be, but it's most likely will.
Well, it probably will because I don't think it's that important. Even though I agree with you that it does help Trunks out. My thing is this. I know a lot of people want the ending to change to where Trunks stays in the present, like future Trunks stays in the present, and they put him in the TOP and in other arcs. I don't think that's going to happen, dude. Like, in order for them to do something as big as to keep Trunks there, I think that's going to cause a problem because then we're going to wonder where Trunks is in all these other stories and they have to figure out how to make him fit. I wish Trunks did stay, but that's not what happened. However, maybe someday in the future they can bring him back again. I think the idea about where Trunks Whis ends up taking Trunks to another timeline where there's another Trunks and another Mai. It's so fucking confusing and stupid, but that's the ending. I wish it wasn't, but that's the ending. So
Champ asked a good question. I like this one.
86%. Champ as in your boy Champ?
Yeah, he's right there. That's
there he is. I didn't even know he was here. What's up, bro?
Yeah. So
Let me get back on your stream again. I won't get high this time, I promise.
Please, don't do that.
Every time I get high on your show, I end up fucking getting in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So he asked the question. He said, "Would you take out the part where Trunks cries and blames himself that saying that he failed his timeline?"
I don't know if you. I don't know. I think you could remove that for time constraints. But here's the thing: when he blames himself, right? I think that needs to be a situation where if they're going to keep it in, someone, whether it be Goku, Vegeta, or Gohan, has to tell him, bro, it's not your fault. You did the best you could.
It really is a case where it's just like the ending of the manga is better, right? I don't think if they're just going to do it like the way that they went about it in the manga, it's a little bit better because at least you actually see Trunks like thinking about that decision and processing it and getting to there on his own rather than it just coming off like, oh, it's the natural thing to do. You know, I just got to get out of here. Like, just, which I didn't like that, you know. But to be honest, I think, like, we talked about this. This happened in Sparking Zero, bro. The whole part where Trunks actually stayed, you know, up until like the Tournament of Power as well and participated in that. Like, I think that would have been an interesting, you know, thing to do. And then Trunks finding closure, Trunks garnering conviction, and him deciding that he can go out into the future and protect everything, back to his future, and be the one to protect everyone there. I think it would be okay, to going about it that way and writing him out of the story. One thing though, I will say, someone mentioned this in the chat. They think it would be a good idea if Trunks actually sacrificed himself and then
and died.
Yeah, like,
That's a sad ending.
it is, but hold on. It would be okay, think about it like this, right? It would him doing this, sacrificing himself, would be his own like atonement for his like inability, for his own weaknesses, right? He did the time traveling thing, and I think the show wants you to understand that that's like not something you're supposed to do, because essentially it would be the karmic retribution of the universe going in to give to like for Trunks, you know, forcing him into a decision that he has to make, right? Since Trunks is pure of heart, and he, you know, he's basically having a similar test like the Goku effect does to him. So essentially from there, him taking the initiative and sacrificing himself, for example, to destroy Zamasu, maybe he's doing the final atonement or something like Vegeta did, but has it actually be successful in such a way, like, I think would be. Yes, champ. I did take this idea, the one I had read. But someone else in the chat mentioned this.
Who's gonna protect the future though?
Well, I don't. At that point, it's like that timeline's already screwed as it is.
By the way, people asking if they're gonna leave in the romance, they have to, because that's Toriyama. Like, and they're not, and it gets addressed later in the cringy fucking high school Trunks arc that I hate.
And no, Trunks is not. Goku's not going to know what a kiss is. I as much as I know people hate that. Oh my god! It's in both the anime. No, it's in the anime. It's in the manga.
I know,
it's
right.
in therefore it's in Toriyama's manuscript. It's being kept in. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Most likely it is. We don't know for sure.
Yes,
you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
No, basically, Trent, I'm not saying that would happen. We're just going over concepts and ideas. Like, maybe I'm entertaining them for the purposes of discussion.
Yes, and then we can say what really should be in. Base Gotenk says, I would have let Time Patrol being introduced into the main continuity of Recruit Trunks is a better ending. I actually agree with this. I would have loved it if they did this. And this would be an awesome way to like even do a tremendous spin-off anime or tie it into the video games. However, unfortunately, the Time Patrol, as far as we know, because Xenoverse 3, where there's still a lot of mysteries about that game, but Time Patrol is pretty much history, because when Toriyama rewrote the Demon Realm for Daima, a lot of that lore has been wiped out, including the Time Breakers and the Time Patrol. Now, could they take the idea and reformat it and reuse it? Of course they could. I just would not expect something like this. Even though I don't hate the idea, I wouldn't expect it. There's a lot of ideas that we talk about today that I think are good. Like, for example, a better ending. Trunks dying, whatever. I don't think they're going to change. I think the major points of this arc, the main bullet points, are not going to change.
Yeah, I agree. That's not going to happen.
New poll. Go ahead.
It would be cool, though, just like what someone brought up, because the idea of Trunks actually going into time, that's something I wanted to implement into my stop motion, right? It would take way too freaking long. But Trunks Trunks actually like leaving that timeline, going into become the time patroller, is a concept that I think in theory they could introduce if they are redoing the whole time patrol, and they're introducing that in the upcoming Xenoverse 3, which that's Age 1000. That's already been leaked. Yeah,
that's been the big talk.
So they can if they wanted to, they could do it. Are they going to? No.
I mean, I already told you privately and showed you that time is a big story at Age 1000.
Well, it's the Xenoverse, so of course it is.
Well, yeah, but we didn't. But when I showed it to you, we didn't know it was Xenoverse 3. I just knew it was a time thing. Yeah. And plus, when you call it Age 1000, like, that kind of gives away what it is. You know, like, okay, it has to do with the future. So the new
heroes.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
very
but
least. Well, not Heroes. Online, Dragon Ball Online.
but I think now it's a whole new slate. Okay, so here's the new poll for everyone. Don't give your answer yet. I want to put it out to them first. Zamasu fuses with the cosmos in the anime, not in the manga. Do you want it? Yes or no? It's probably the craziest thing we've ever seen in Dragon Ball. We've ever seen a villain do. Universal Zamasu is like fucking nuts, right? Only somebody like Zeno could have stopped it. Do you want it to happen? Yes or no? Tiny Paw Tails, hot take, but I think Trunks needs to die with the timeline. Him skipping to another timeline is cowardly to me. I don't know about cowardly. I kind of see where you're coming from. We talked about him dying a minute ago, so there's no sense in redoing the topic. I don't know about cowardly, though. Like, is that a fair word to use for this?
You're saying it's cowardly to want to, like, what do you mean?
Like, is
when
he
you
a
say,
coward or are the writers cowards?
yeah,
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think it's, bro. Okay, I don't think it's an issue of like, because Trunks' whole thing is surviving. If you're going to die, if you're just gonna, well, if you're just dying for the purposes like, oh, this is my timeline, I have to die, then you are basically making all of the sacrifices that people have made so that you could live for absolutely nothing. You are betraying the trust of every one of your companions to just go ahead and, like, what is this mindset that he's a coward for choosing to die? Why does he have to choose to die? Like, you're supposed to continue to live as best as you can. I don't understand what he's saying, what he means by that.
He might mean that what he might mean. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Maybe he means that like they didn't want to kill off the character, so they just came up with this ending. I mean, let's be honest.
I see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Look, I've said this. I did a whole stream with Hail Zeon when this episode aired, 67. That ending is so bad. Like, I don't think people really understand how bad that ending is. Like, some people have talked about, yeah, it sucks, doesn't feel right. But what is that noise?
There's a
Is there
plane flying over my house.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can hear it clearly, bro. That's crazy. So, I was gonna say something fucked up, but I think you know what I was gonna say because I was gonna make the joke before you told me.
Yeah. You stop with that. No.
All right. No, but all joking aside, it's a fucking plane. I used to live next to an Air Force base. So I know. No, but okay. So what the hell? My thing got fucked up over here. Okay, so what I was trying to say was merge Zamasu. What we have so far. 69. Well, actually, I don't want to even say it. I want you. What do you think?
We're not aiming for the truck. I'm sorry. That comment from them. Keep reading.
Junior, bro. He's your boy. So okay. So should we get Zamasu merging with the universe or no?
Make it, bro. I'm still like, just do it how it happened in the manga. Because at least with the manga, too, you have other content. Vegeta would be using the Gamma Burst Flash for the very first time. If you introduce it right there, you can also have that introduced in the Tournament of Power when you rewrite that in there. Right? He can continue to use that. That's like Vegeta's new special move for Super. And I think that move was dope. You know, Gamma Burst Flash was a cool move. And then also as well, do you remember that visual? That visual in the manga? Goku Black, he's got that sword in him from... You know, and he just turns around. He looks at Trunks. He's got this big old grin on him, and then he just turns into Zamasu. It was really, I think it was visually a very good scene. But to be honest with you, I will say this: the infinite Zamasu thing, the way that it happened in the anime, actually justifies it further for them to like nuke the entire timeline.
Because that's all they could do.
Yeah, the implication behind that is that, okay, if they didn't do that, then Zamasu would have wiped out the other timelines as well. He would have traveled into the other timelines because they literally see him in the other timelines, like about to push through and everything.
Not just that, but also, yeah, and that's the other thing is he was starting to really take over the cosmos, and it's the craziest thing we've ever seen a Dragon Ball villain do. I mean, it was the craziest shit we've ever seen, right? And I remember having to explain to people what was going on because, again, we've never seen anything like that. That's like a high level. Again, they got it from Go 5, but yeah, bro. Okay, so as far as Zeno nuking the timeline, because earlier somebody said the Zeno button was a teaser for the TOP or whatever, and that's not true. But what is something that they did do for foreshadowing is showing Zeno nuking that future timeline was a preview of how he could wipe away entire universes in this tournament of power. So there is sort of that aspect to it. I don't think it's necessary though. It's one of those things where it's big, it's like a massive fucking story point, like it's huge, but is it really necessary? Sometimes I feel like Dragon Ball Super goes too far. I feel like the scaling is out of control in Dragon Ball Super compared to the older series.
I will say this to the Zeno Ben. I get someone in the chat when you replied to earlier was talking about how the Zeno button was the way that Goku would go to Zeno, right? And you're saying, oh, there's other ways that Goku would do that. I don't think that actually is. But the thing is that do you think that Supreme Kai would take Goku over to Zeno's palace? No. Like, bro, he already thinks that Goku talking to Zeno is a crazy thing. Same with Beerus. No one wants Goku to interact with Zeno. Goku being able to have control and being able to go there by his own free volition, I think is what makes that whole entire thing different. And I think it makes sense for, at the very least, for that button to exist. It's just that I think introducing it into the story at that point in time does, in fact, remove the tension specifically, and it does introduce that problems. But I think that the introduction of the Zeno button to some people may have just been a little bit too early.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, man. I agree with Black Phoenix here with the whole cop-out thing. This guy, Macho Man, brother, you're writing your own story. First, he says that, like, Super Saiyan God should have been used in Resurrection F and Blue should have been later. And you're trying to, like, rewrite the entire story, and that's not happening. Like, you're not going to get Beast Gohan. And I know he's fucking around, but, like, it's just funny that he's rewriting the entire story, like, just from scratch. And here's the thing. So, people, I agree with people, bro, when they say, I agree with y'all when you say stuff like this. Like, yeah, it's a bummer ending. Him nuking the future, right? I don't think that's the worst part. It's more so the fact that, like, he winds up going to another future where there's already him and Mai. Like, it's so stupid. Like, he should have either stayed in the present or they could have come up with, bro, this again, bro. Like, again, I don't know if he's trying to rage bait me. You know how tired I am of this comment,
just focus back on your main point. Don't ignore him. Ignore him, bro.
No, there's another one, bro. This will never happen, dude. This will never happen. That's never gonna happen.
I think people are just like, they're talking about their fan fictions and they want and it's not oh, this is going to happen. They're talking about, hey, this would be cool. I want to write my own stories. This would be dope to have that type of thing in there. Like, dude, let me explain to you guys something.
No, you know what would be cool, Heesh? You know what would be cool if, because, you know, Gohan needs an uncle. They should bring Raditz back to life, and Goku and Vegeta should teach him the Super Saiyan forms. That'd be so fucking awesome. Oh my god, y'all. That would be, you know what else would be awesome? If they wish back Planet Vegeta. Oh man, can you imagine all the Saiyans running around? You know what would be even more awesome? If Beerus and Chi have a kid, and that's the main character of Xenoverse 3. Oh my god, this is what would happen to me if that happened. This is what would happen to me right here. Wait. Oh, that's what would happen. That's what would happen. Oh my god, they need to bring back Raditz because Gohan needs an uncle. Woo. You know Raditz was secretly a good guy, Heesh? Did you know that?
Oh my god. Okay, I think some of you'll come up with interesting ideas, right? But the problem is that the ideas, they lose substance when you think about how these would actually be realistically put into the story.
It doesn't make sense.
There's a reason why, the thing makes sense. You know, there's a reason why, if anything, right? If y'all were just to take the story of evil Goku, for example, just like before Goku Black was even introduced, a lot of the stories that came from that was pretty cheesy. I'm not even gonna lie.
They were horrible because Goku's not evil.
Yeah, they were not evil. They were thinking, oh, Goku would bump his head again, and then he'd turn evil. And it's like, dude, no. The whole concept of of that doesn't actually, like, when you look at the actual writing and understand, like, how the characters go about it. Like the only way that actually that these would Dragon Ball Super Beerus, the only way that this would
Rad tits.
like by stretching out of the imagination even would work is if you all of a sudden have characters behave in a very out of character manner. Like in order to write stuff in naturally, they need to every one of the characters need to be behaving naturally. And if you're going to be taking that into consideration, you realize, you know what, this is not going to work. That's why when Toriyama introduced Goku Black, he created a new character and did it in a way that it doesn't actually mess with the way the characters normally behave. This is the closest that you're actually ever going to get to an evil Goku being introduced into the story. Or something like that with Beast Gohan as well. Like these are the most natural ways of implementing things without stretching them to such a high level degree.
Well, also, the other evil Goku was Turles. He was the original evil Goku.
That wasn't done by Toriyama, though.
No, it wasn't. No, you're right about that. But I'm saying, like, the way they did it in Super, where Zamasu took over Goku's body, I actually think that did work. I think that version of evil Goku works. This idea of Goku himself actually being evil doesn't make any sense. But you're right. And this is kind of my entire point with my sarcastic ramble a minute ago. If you are one of those people who thinks that Goku and Vegeta should wish back Raditz and Nappa and they're going to suddenly be good guys, it makes me genuinely wonder if you even understand Goku and Vegeta, because Goku and Vegeta wishing back two guys that are A, weak, B, assholes, and everything I hear from these weirdos, it's always the same shit. Well, Vegeta was the bad guy first and he turned good. Maybe Raditz could turn good too. They're two different characters with two totally different lives.
What the fuck?
And so what I'm trying to say is, whenever somebody says like Goku and Vegeta should wish back blank, I'm like, you don't understand Goku and Vegeta's characters at all. Because there's absolutely no reason. Why would Goku and Vegeta want to wish back two pussy-ass Saiyans when they're now training with gods? These motherfuckers are training with gods, bro. With gods. And you want them to bring back characters from the Saiyan saga because you want to see more Saiyans. Fuck, bro. Well, Saiyans are cool, man, because their hair turns yellow. This is another one right here, bro. This is another one. People should stop projecting their family life from their lives. No, it's Goku and Bardock. Oh, Goku, he really cares about his father. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know who that motherfucker is. Oh, they should have Goku and Bardock reunite in heaven. Heaven? You know how many people Bardock killed? Anyways. I'm moving on.
Look at the message real quick. I DM'd you on this one. I was thinking about joking about that, but I don't know if the subject would be okay for your stream.
No, bro, with that you're bringing with that guy.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd be joking, bro. That'd be
I know. You're right. That dude, that when he said that, bro, the whole chat turned against him. That day. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
No, I'm not gonna say it. Unless Danny says this.
I'll just say this. It's something that, what the fuck was this guy? Bosnian. What's the fuck's the guy's name?
Bosnian guy.
Bosnian something. He said something very controversial on one of these streams, and it was like, everybody was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So, anyways, super chat from Kiryu, the Dragon Warrior. I like the Zeno button because in Journey to the West, at least in an audiobook version I listened to, they called the gods for help many times. It just feels more like Journey to the West. Okay, the whole thing about them asking the gods for help, in theory, that story is not a terrible story, but the entire purpose of this arc is Zamasu hates mortals, and Goku's trying to prove to Zamasu that mortals have value. When all you do is ask gods for help, you are taking away the value that the mortals have. So, okay, hold on. Hold on, one more thing. This comment right here, bro, you are lucky that Jordan is not here, Because if Jordan read this comment, bro, he would fucking chew you apart, bro. I promise. Jordan would fucking break you. Anyways,
Yo, I'm calling Jordan right now, bro. He's gonna hop in the stream. Yo,
I could, but no, I'll
No,
give
no,
him a
no.
break. I give him a break.
Yeah, he just got back from a convention.
I know. Do you want me to take the next super chat, or were you gonna say something?
Sure, you read the next super chat.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. So right now, the Zamasu fusing with the Cosmos, 61% no, 39% yes. So people seem to not like that. I mean, then what's the reason for Zeno nuking the timeline? You know what? I wish that they actually didn't nuke the timeline and Trunks just saved the day and Trunks stayed there with Mai and that's it. They had babies.
Here's what I think could. Okay, I do have. There's one concept of which I would have introduced that would have completely removed Zeno like in the first place. It would have also explained what Super Saiyan Rage was in a proper manner, and then it would have like also made it to where that like Trunks does get saved, like timeline does get saved, but it's without the actual introduction of Zeno. There is no Zeno in my storyline. I'm not gonna say my storyline is better. I'm not going to imply that I'm a better writer. It's me. My whole story is just me being like wanting to like write down things in a way that I think is interesting. It's just me wanting to get my geeky stuff out there.
That's what it's there for, bro.
That is what it's there for.
Let me find you right now, and
it's not in my stop motion though. It's in what would have been like a remake of it, and then adding more to the ending afterwards.
What'd you say to search for?
Are we about to watch the stream right now?
I just want to pull it up. I'm not gonna put it on yet. By the way, I see this picture of you at Kamehacon without a beard, and it's like a different person, bro.
Okay, it's like Dragon Ball Evolved.
Okay, no, I mean I just want to get it pulled up because we just got another super chat, and I want to bring up. Okay, so are you against or for not nuking the timeline and Trunks just lives happily ever after in that timeline with Mai? Or maybe they wish back Bulma, who gets killed by Goku Black at the beginning of the arc. I don't know. What do you think?
To be honest,
61% said no.
It's not that I'm necessarily against the timeline being destroyed. I'm more so just against the involvement of Zeno being there in the first place.
I am too.
I think you can I think you can still write in a way in which the timeline would be destroyed without Zeno. With what I had written down. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying any of that's going to happen, but I have my own stories of how I would want to do it done.
Besides Dragon Ball Evolved, did you want to go into what your ideas were? Because we might. I got to get out of here in about 40 minutes, right? So your video is 14 minutes, so it's not that long. But I did want to ask you if you had anything you wanted to drop, like that you wrote down or whatever.
Okay. This would be a really long, drawn out thing, and to be honest, till this very day, a lot of my ideas aren't actually properly polished into putting into an actual coherent story.
You mean like wishing Raditz back to be an uncle?
I would not do that. No.
I know. No, but it doesn't matter, bro. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Okay, so basically, the way that I would explain, first off, like if I'm just gonna start it off, like the way that I would explain Super Saiyan Rage, it is a result of a mutation that took place to Trunks from him excessively going back and forth into in time multiple different times, right?
Really?
Now, in my story, Trunks' hair is purple. It is normally purple for the duration of it. Right?
Wait. This is not Dragon Ball Evolved. This is the new stuff that you came up with, right?
This would be in the sequel to Dragon. You know what? Maybe I should tell you this after we watch Evolved. Then you would know like where the everything is at.
I was just wondering if you had anything for the new. Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. All right. Hoop Baby says hug tip to tip and maintain eye contact. Danny, appreciate you guys. Keep cooking. Yes, hugs are always welcome. Phoenix King says, in a perfect world, Trunks stays in the present, and the TOP wins and wishes the universe is back, and as a bonus for that wish, they restore his timeline and everyone in it since Zeno wanted a selfless wish. I'll tell you what, that would be a super duper duper happy ending, and I wouldn't hate it. Toriyama would like something like that. It's a very happy, lighthearted ending. What do you think about his ending?
I mean, if that was the case, then I don't think Toriyama would have. I think Toriyama would have had that in his notes or something.
I agree with you, but I mean, but imagine if he was still alive and somebody was like, maybe you should do this. He might actually go for it. He might go for it.
It's almost like when the way that Toriyama, like, he wrote it in a way that takes Trunks out of the story, but leaves the open opportunity if he would want to introduce Trunks into the story again. That's kind of how it felt.
Yes,
like,
and that's why I think he might come back again later. At least from Toyotaro.
I almost the thing is I don't like that Toriyama left that in the air though, because I feel the arc needs to be able to be its own, to maintain its own story and be able to be like, okay, if this is the ending, this is a good ending. That wasn't a good ending. That wasn't a good way to like end off Trunks' overall character, and it needed to have something else to at least have that fulfillment.
Him and Mai should have a kid, and the kid goes evil, and then they go back in time for a third time, and Trunks tells Goku, "We've got a problem." What? So we've had androids. We fucking solved that problem. We have Goku Black. We solved that problem. What's the problem now? Me and Mai have a son, and he's evil, and he's fucking us up.
No, dude. If anything,
if I were Goku, I'd be like, bro, solve your own fucking problems, bro.
Have the kid be the new time traveler or something. I don't know.
I know. I'm not being serious. I'm not being serious here.
But I do think. But I do see the idea of them, like, having Trunks and Mai's, like, offspring, and like and then him being the new time traveler and him actually doing something. Future Zykor, bro, I'm gonna kick your ass. No, hell no. Zykor being Trunks' son.
Oh my god, no thanks. Feller says, bring Future Trunks back during the Black Frieza arc, and Frieza gets PTSD of Future Trunks killing him, and he Hakai's Future Trunks in front of Vegeta, and we finally get Vegeta killing Frieza. Yeah, but we can't do that, bro, because Tarble has to be the one to come back and get killed. Have you been reading the chat, bro? It's gotta be Tarble, bro. If it's not Tarble, there it is, bro. There it is, Tarble Black. There it is. All right. I say we just get this show on the road, bro. Let's get to, we're going to watch it now. This was 7 years ago you made this. This is Dragon Ball Evolved. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. Do you want to introduce it? Do you want to introduce it or what? How do you want to do this?
Okay, so I'm echoing and I keep interrupting myself.
You're echoing because I have the thing up to the thing.
Okay, no worries.
I'll shut up. Or you just shut up in a minute.
Let me take off my headphones so I don't hear myself. So basically, I don't want people to judge this one too much. There's a lot of things in this that I think, there's cool content in there.
You made it when you were a kid.
But I was much. I mean, I don't really think I would call myself a kid at this point. Like, I'm 27 right now.
You're still a kid.
This was 7 years ago. I was 20 when I made this. And I wasn't as knowledgeable about Dragon Ball specifically when I had done this whole thing.
You're still a kid at 20, bro.
Okay, I was a kid at heart. I'm still a kid at heart.
Yes, you were a kid. Still are.
So there's things in here I would change, but there's other things here where I'm like thinking, okay, I can sort of update this, polish this up, and make it better.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna make another one?
I don't know. I don't know if I will.
All right. Ready?
Where I have my computer set up now, that's where I have my desk. That's where I used to have things set up.
I remember you showed me that. Do you want me to?
With that being said, everyone,
you're so embarrassed.
Go ahead. Feel free to start us off and just remember the type of content we're watching.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll be the one to roast you if anything. Oh, sorry about that. All right.
God, that intro.
Your struggles are futile, Trunks. You're simply an ant crawling in my path of justice. Your reasons to fight is all pointless in the grand greatness that awaits this world.
Black!
Magnificent! Your punches are powerful, but this pain will make me stronger. Now witness the true beauty of my power!
That form.
What is that?
Well, what do you think of this color? Isn't it beautiful? I think an appropriate name for this would be Rosé. Yes, I have reached Super Saiyan Rose!
Bro, your black voice is hilarious.
That's not me.
Well, the voice that is doing it. I mean, yours
I
as
got
in
it.
the, yeah.
Do you understand what you're dealing with now?
You're going to pay, Black.
Ha! You misunderstand, Vegeta. You're simply an appetizer in the grand scheme of the righteousness that awaits this world.
Sound effects are on point. Bro, this had to have taken you 100 years. I do not have the patience to do every frame by frame, bro.
I think visually though, this is considered one of my weaker stop motions today compared to like where I'm at now.
Okay, but people are saying nice things about it, bro.
I appreciate y'all.
I mean, they're saying it's like Robot Chicken, but I mean, that's what they do. Like, except they do like the comedy shit.
Other much fluid.
Huh?
Robot Chicken is way more fluid. This is not at that level.
And yes, bro, there's an echo. We've already gone over that. Yes, I know there's an echo. It's because I'm sharing the screen. That's not me. That's StreamYard doing it, bro.
Intriguing. Looks like I have underestimated you, Prince. It seems that holding back is no longer an option.
I don't hate this.
A blade.
Taste my blade!
Your aim is trash, Black.
Huh. I wasn't aiming at you.
What? Trunks!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Why you?
Oh, this is great.
How did you?
I'll give you this, Vegeta. You were definitely more than an appetizer, but you still are food on the platter. Now you and your son can join your wife in the next world.
No, bro, come on. This is so dark, man. And that's Dragon Ball from OG Dragon Ball Bulma. That pops me.
There was no figure of Bulma at that time.
I know, it's okay. It works. Look how they massacred my boy.
I can't. I won't. Let this bastard continue with this nonsense. You insane son of a bitch. You destroyed most of the population. You killed my wife. Then you even tortured my son right in front of me. Now you've pissed me off beyond belief. Now it's time to pay! Saiyan's power that gives you strength, then a Saiyan's power will take you down!
How did you suddenly get so much more powerful?
That's simple.
The fucking Falconer remix, bro. It's okay. It actually fits with this.
Yes.
You're an imposter. A body snatcher, you can't properly wield the body you well within. But I'm the real deal. The Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta!
Your anger feels simply incredible!
What the?
Now I understand. This rage you have, you've turned it into power! Such an ugly method, and one that only a mortal could think
Thank you,
of.
Justin.
So I had overlooked it. Anger at the mortals who disrespect the universe. Anger towards all the gods who have tolerated such behavior. And most important, the anger I feel at myself for letting a mere mortal get the better of me.
Now he's gonna scythe me.
This is magnificent! The more I fight, the more this body becomes part of me! Thank you, Vegeta. If it wasn't for your anger, I wouldn't be able to craft this new weapon in my arsenal. Let me return the favor!
A lot of the dialogue I would love to be honest with you guys.
Bastard!
I still like
Come on,
it.
Vegeta. Didn't you say you would get revenge?
Damn you! Damn you!
What the?
Trunks, live on.
Damn, this is getting dark, bro. Oh shit, that was a nice effect. I don't know about that face though.
How comical. The Prince of the Saiyans.
We had to do
Knows
things
he's
today.
lost. He resorts to giving his son energy to survive. Your stubbornness is the truest
This
representation
had to have
of
taken
all
you
mortals'
months.
ignorance. So where were you
Yeah, it's
running
a
to?
little bit.
The past? The future? Perhaps an alternate dimension?
Ah! A mortal's ignorance.
So I want to do a whole stream where I react to your fucking stop motions.
You down, bro?
I want to do an entire stream where all I do is react to your stop motions.
Okay, sure.
I'm just saying.
You don't
I'm just
know
like a little bit
about
embarrassed. So don't worry.
This is I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Like, I'm not saying I know you're good at these, right? But when you said, "Oh, it was 7 years ago and I was younger," I get it. Like, okay, some shit some kid made, but this is actually more polished than I was
Nowadays
expecting.
you can do a Trunks impression. At that point, I wasn't even attempting it. So it's like I was having my buddy of mine at the time do it.
You're beating yourself up. This is a hell of a lot better than I was expecting anyway.
I appreciate it, man.
You lowered the expectations. Lowered expectations. I like Dragon Ball and Power Rangers. For Graham, press 227. Lowered expectations. Nobody gets that joke, bro. You had to have been watching fucking Mad TV in the 90s to get that one.
I'm not running anymore.
I'm
You're
old.
gonna pay. You're gonna pay!
What is this?
Black, this ends right now. I'm gonna kill you myself.
Impossible! Scum! It's fast!
Victory! Counter!
I don't know how well it's going to be seen on screen.
Damn. It looks fine to me.
This part.
You poor, pathetic mortal. Don't you even understand why any of this torment to your planet had to happen?
What do you mean? You did this. You did all of this for your hellish vision.
Ha! You speak of crimes, yet what you've done is far worse. You've torn reality itself into pieces.
I what?
I pondered it for some time, Trunks, but you're one of the reasons I decided all mortals should be exterminated. You sealed it. By changing the past, you produced a new time ring, which sparked a series of events that disrupted reality even more. It's quite comedic. Every time you try to protect something, you create an even bigger problem. Just like in every battle you and I had before you went back in time. Every single fight we have had, I was able to exploit a Zenkai boost, allowing me to further tap into more of the power that Goku possesses. And that wouldn't have been possible without that special ability you didn't realize you had. I know you trained with the Supreme Kai and became a disciple. Because of that, you were granted the ability to heal others, which you were unknowingly doing to me in every single fight.
No.
Yes, indeed, Trunks. And now, because of your own ignorance, I am now tapped into Goku's final power. The technique that this body has forgotten for so long. The Kaioken!
Oh, this'll... Okay, this is what you're talking about. Yeah, pink and red.
Trunks, I'll be sure that everyone else on this planet will cease to exist, and my utopia will at last be realized.
It's all over.
This is where Tarble shows up. I swear to God, bro.
You should learn to quit and accept your fate!
I can't. I won't give up. Everyone is counting on me.
Trunks, you're still fighting for everyone. Fighting despite all of the damage you've taken. All because of my inability to finish off Black.
You blame mortals for being ignorant of the gods, yet you don't even know the first thing about us.
Still don't know your place? I'll make you remember. Times 10!
Come on, bro. Music fits.
Now, goodbye, Trunks! What the?
Oh shit, okay. This is what that guy was saying earlier.
Impossible! There's no way he should have been able to get up! Unless... No! Trunks must have healed him unknowingly!
Trunks, you've done well.
Father.
Black, here's some free advice. Don't underestimate mortals, and especially not a Saiyan. Now succumb to the most powerful Gallic God!
I kind of like this a lot, bro.
Can't be! No! No!
Trunks, you've done well protecting this future.
I kind of like this.
All should be in good hands.
And that is it.
You're fucking... This was way better than you... And this was you 7 years ago, bro. I told you it should have been Tarble. I told you a long time ago that you're way more talented than you realize. This was 7 years ago, bro. The only thing you needed is the more backgrounds. But other than that...
Yeah, definitely.
No,
at that point I was doing a little bit of work with green screen, but it just wasn't... I wanted to do like a practical background at that point. It was much easier.
Yeah, it would probably be a motherfucker to actually get the green screen right.
No,
even if
but
it's a little.
Nowadays they have way better green screen technology. I can totally do it better in today's day and age. Dude, that that thing. Well, basically what happened was like Vegeta basically got enough of his Zenkai boost from Trunks killing him in order to unlock Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Yes, that's what it was. That's part of the reason why the story was originally called like Dragon Ball Evolved. When I was going through like the names of it, I had like other cheesy names for like Evolved Rage or something to do with it, and no, and now it didn't. And then my buddy, I remember I was on the phone with him. I told him like, why don't you just call it Dragon Ball Evolved? And he's like, oh, you know what, that works. But yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. To me, it's like of course, like I see this. It's a common thing that I realize happens with a lot of people. Whenever it's like they make their own work, they're oftentimes the most critical with it.
Yes, they are.
I can't help but be like that, and especially because it's like nowadays I see like how much better the quality of the work I put out can be, and other things I look back at, I'm like, oh, I should have done this. I could have made this way different. And so it's not up there to me with like where my best work is at. But I appreciate every single one of you. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, and that you all were able to, everyone stuck through and watched this.
No, that was great, bro. It really was. Stop beating yourself up. It was. I liked it. That's a better ending than the real one. Where was Goku?
There's no Goku or Zamasu in this. So basically, the way that I would have written it down, there's stuff in this stop motion that doesn't make sense. First of all, they're reacting as if it's Goku's first time. Like it's their first time seeing Goku Black turn into Super Saiyan Rose, right? They're acting as if it's the first. But the problem is that for the explanation behind where Goku is at this point makes no sense, because this would have been actually like the second. This should have actually been the second time that Goku wasn't, that they had actually gone to the timeline. Basically, Goku, the original reason that I had written him out of here, right, was that he actually like got him and Zamasu both got trapped in the Mafuba jar at the same exact time. And he would have been off like fighting him in there as that whole thing was going on. The issue was that doesn't make a lot of sense now, because again, it's implied from the main part of the story that it's their first time going into this part of the future, like with Vegeta and someone in order to fight off against Goku Black. So that's why I've thought about always wanting to go back and just like rewrite it, redo it, and just actually give it like the sequel ending part combined with the beginning portion that I had. But yeah, as you can see, like in the
Dragon Ball Super is getting remade, so you might as well. I like how this guy says, "What's this guy's YouTube channel called?"
My channel is Star Blast Studios. It's right underneath my name.
There's a link in the description. It's right under his name, right here. See where my finger's at? Right there. You dumbass. Go ahead, bro.
I don't think your finger's pointing at it.
Well, it was on my screen. So, okay. By the way, this question right here, is Danny the most critical of his own videos? No, because each and every one of my videos is a masterpiece and should be recorded in the Library of Congress as the great recordings of the human race, bro. My videos belong right next to the Smithsonian Institute, next to the dinosaur fucking exhibits and shit, bro. So, unlike Heesh, I'm not critical of my videos, except when I am. So are you going to do it? Are you going to remake it? Because if you say you're going to remake it and you don't, everyone's going to be disappointed.
I make so many. The problem is that I've made a lot of. I've said a lot of things that I was going to make a lot of things on my channel and didn't actually come through with them. There's a long list of things that is on there that's just gathered up over time, and I can't make any promises at this point anymore. The thing is that I want to, but I don't know if I have the time anymore. And to be honest, man, stop motion is not just the fact that it's a lot of work. The thing is that stop motion is one of those things where it's like it's multiple different skills being put into one thing. You're making a script, you're voice acting, you're editing, you're doing way more stuff in order to produce these types of videos, in order to, for them to even do that. So ideally, I would like to be honest, like ideally I would like there to be like a team of people to like, sort of help me out to where I can like actually flesh out the stories and be able to like put these all in a specific way that can be much more creative. And I wouldn't mind like, getting some assistance, behind looking this. Now the link is working. If you guys,
yeah, okay. I was gonna say the link was not working because, and I'll tell you why. It's not my fault. The fucking stream before we went live got deleted from StreamYard. I have no idea why. I had to make a new stream, and when I copied over the description, I had to relink Heesh's channel for. I don't know why I did that, bro. I can't answer it. But if you check right now, the Star Blast Studios link in the description should take you to his channel.
I remember one specific thing about this stream about this video.
My alarm's going off, so we gotta get out of here in a minute. But go ahead,
okay.
go ahead.
One particular thing I remember, and this is how I did things back in the day. I did not write a script doing this video at all. I had everything in my head, and then I'm like, oh, I need to have a script now so that the actors know what to do. So I wrote the script right after.
Autism.
It could be that. I don't even know, but. Yeah, like nowadays, I need to have more polish. I need to have more stuff in my work, and I can't just be like not writing the script and animating. As much as it would be great.
This man said consider animation instead. Do you know that's even more expensive and harder to do? Maybe not as time consuming, but that's gonna cost money, bro.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, people would say use AI. I'm not gonna use AI.
I mean,
not that way.
I mean,
I
bro,
know that
people are using it now. Not you.
I know.
But I'm saying.
Yeah, but like. I just think if you use AI, especially for this type of craft, you're removing all of like the work that goes into
the heart.
Like, yeah, the heart of this in order to make it. I wouldn't want to make something that's AI. Like for this to tell this type of story.
I agree.
Yeah, but hey, anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Yeah, stop motion with the script is insane work. Feel free to reach out to my listen, if any of you guys are like have any ideas or something of the lines that I can do to like, continue this type of thing. Why don't you all just send me an email, starblast32@gmail.com. You can also message me on my Instagram or you'll also message me on Twitter, whichever. My stuff is open. If you're that freeze frame with you, that freeze frame with you the longest time, that was funny. Do you mind disclosing how much that video had cost to make? Well, there wasn't
time. It cost time.
It cost a lot of time. The only thing that I used to making that video, and I still have the phone right here. This is an iPhone 5C. I did that all on this phone. It wasn't some any other fancy stuff. Like the fact is that if you want to actually do stop motion animation, you just need an iPhone. And normally I would say get an Android, but the stop motion studio app is the most up to date on the iPhone version, and it has much better features so far on it. Take it from me. Really, like this was at a point in time where it's like I didn't have to worry about like paying. This was just me and a bunch of my friends making work. They didn't get paid for their voice acting. They all were doing things for free. A lot of us, we do this for fun, with passion. I had someone else as well, like helping out with my effects at that point. And then I did some of my own effects. Nowadays, I probably do a lot more like a little bit more by myself. But to be honest with you, it's like. I definitely like one of those things where I think looking back at it, even though I say like I should have done this by myself, like it definitely alleviated some of the work and the stress that went into doing that. It really was a giant competition because someone else was working on a stop motion at that time that was sort of similar, also like their adaptation, but it was I like Champ's recommendation here though. If you want to get into stop motion animation, I highly suggest doing shorts first. Start easy and then work your way up to making a short film. I'm going to give you all one. Yes.
Can you make a stop motion about a guy who's in the KKK and falls in love with a black girl?
Oh my God, no.
Let's do that, please.
One last thing as well. To any one of you who's out there, if you're doing stop motion, don't make a series. Do not make an episodic series because because number one, like, you're never going to finish the series.
And the dog, what if the dog eats the toy and buries it in the backyard? Then you're fucked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of stuff happens though. Like that type of shit does happen.
Let your stories be a one and done thing. Or at least like leave the opportunity for something to maybe continue from it afterwards, but leave it at a place where you can leave. Because with my own stories, with my own series, like that there's a lot of things that needed to be there's a lot of unfulfilled elements in my own stop motion stories. And to be honest with you, it's like it's one of those things I look back at that like, man, I would have liked to finish this, but also at the same time, like iffy. Anyways, I'm sorry. I know you have everyone has like you gotta head out here in a bit. So I'll go ahead and let you end off the stream.
No, it's fine. I was just, my alarm is going off and it's pissing me off. It's nothing to do with you.
It's
just
not
the
stopping?
alarm. I have to get up and turn it off, but I'm still here. I wanted to finish the stream with you. I think was there any other point you wanted to make about improving the Future Trunks arc?
To be honest with you, I did want to talk about the ideas of like what I would have done like as a sequel to that video in general.
Yeah, but that would be about that video more than what they're going to do.
It would, but the ideas of it could actually be implemented into the Future Trunks arc. I mean, it's not a realistic idea. It's just a cool concept overall.
Right, I understand that.
One of which would be, okay, Goku, like Trunks' Super Saiyan Rage is a mutation from time traveling. When he actually did enough time traveling, he actually, like Goku Black, what he would have done later, he would have survived the Gallic Gun, right? And then at some point, when he opened up the rift in time, Trunks would have been thrown into the rift, and then he would land at a different set. He would land at a different point. He would time travel, right? And then when he would land, his hair would change to blue. And then that's how it would explain the blue hair.
Now here's the question, bro. Do his pubic hair turn blue also? That's what I want to know. That's what's canon.
I can't confirm or deny that.
That's okay. No, it's the thing is like it's that I mean I enjoyed watching that, bro. I think most of the chat's not bullshitting when they say the same thing. So it is a motherfucker though to make that. So all right, I had a good time with you. Yes, I know the alarm is ringing. I can hear it. Hubuk, thank you for pointing that out to me, bro. It's not like I have trouble hearing. It's not. I can hear someone's. I gotta get out of here, bro. All right, y'all. All right, so here's the schedule. Tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming on World of Geekdom around the same time, 5 with Draven. We're talking about the road to WrestleMania, the shitty road to WrestleMania. Wednesday, I'll be back here with Jordan doing the Mandalorian. So it should be a good time, bro. Anyways, thank you, Heesh, for hanging out with me for a little bit. And maybe in the future, we'll do a stream where I react. I mean, you don't have to be there, but I wouldn't mind watching more of these stop motions and just chilling.
I'm down for it, bro. That'd be great.
Yes, I mean it's up to you if you want to be there. If not, that's okay too.
Hey, just send me an invite whenever you're ready, and I'll be down for it.
Yes, well, I appreciate it. All right, y'all, I'm getting out of here. Have a good one. Take care of yourself and each other, and I'll see you this Wednesday.